more steps toward unifying your Battlegrounds experience, destructible terrain on Tago, and a new way to hide your vehicles. All this and more as we dive into the Update 35.2 patch report. First up, we're continuing to work toward unifying your Battlegrounds experience. This update adds vending machines, previously a Miramar exclusive, to Erangel and Tago. You can also keep an eye out for medical vending machines that distribute first aid kits, bandages, and med kits. All these machines still have their chance at a jackpot, so test your luck when you run into one. In addition to this, Erangel is also getting Tago's destructible pots. Breaking these has a chance to give boosts, healing items, throwables, and even secret room keys. So embrace your inner Link and smash away. And speaking of destroying stuff, destructible terrain and the red zone have made their way to Tago. As before, explosives and the Panzerfaust will alter the terrain they hit, adding a bit more realism to that big cool explosion. We've also added the pickaxe to the map for those who'd rather dig their trench a little more discreetly. For now, destruction on Tago will only affect terrain, so don't worry about the building you're in caving down on top of it. And on the topic of discreetness, you can now find vehicle camo netting on Erangel and Miramar. Deploying the camo netting to your vehicle will help it to blend in with the terrain around it, making it harder for enemies to see while obscuring tire positions. We've also toned down C4 a little by making it a deployable weapon that requires 4 seconds to set. This adds a little more risk to the reward instead of it being used as a nuclear grenade. There's also a new Survivor Pass, enhancements made to the inflatable boat, some improvements to the flare gun's UX, and lots more info about everything else we talked about. So be sure to check out the patch notes for full details. Update 35.2 is here. So pack your favorite explosives and get ready for a little light terraforming on Tago. Just make sure you hide your getaway vehicle from the other survivors. We'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. This year, we're introducing structured competitive play in third-person perspective mode for players of all ranks, levels, and ability. Here's how it works in EMEA and Americas. PUBG Players Tour competition is held in 2-week phases. Each week, you and your squad can compete in player scrims. Think of these as a great alternative to ranked play. Each day of scrims will feature a variety of maps, with defined team and lobby sizes to ensure a balanced best-of-3 rounds. Teams will earn points based on their performance, and daily leaderboards will track their progress. When the scrims are over, the top teams will qualify for the PUBG Players Tour Cups, where they will be joined by up to 10 invited teams, featuring some of the best players in the region. Players' Cup leaderboards will track team performances across 2 days of play, with the top 8 squads progressing to the final round of competition. Players Masters are the pinnacle of the PUBG Players Tournament. 8 teams from each of the 2 cups will engage in fierce competition for a huge prize pool in each region across the PUBG Players Tour season. And for times when a Players Masters isn't scheduled, you can still get your PUBG Players Tour fix with Super Cups. These work just like Masters events, where again, 16 teams, 8 from each of the 2 previous Players Cups, compete for a share of the total cash prize pool. Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. You know the game. Be a player.
Welcome back, everyone. It's the PUBG Player Cup. It's week number 1. I'm Mark Power, and I'm joined by the amazing Goa. We've already had 1 day of action, 4 games where we've seen multiple teams kind of duke it out. Skittles definitely on top, Koa, but we are back now. Day number 2, 4 games left to find our top 8 before they work their way through and secure their spot to the Super Cup. Expectations for today, though, are we going to see Skittles still on top, or do you think we're going to see some more teams work their way through?
I think there's a good chance we see someone catch up. I think there's a good chance some of the teams just lock it in a little bit and get close, maybe even take away that first place. I think Foot, for example, could be a team that takes away first place. But we're not really looking at first place all that much. We are looking at who qualifies today. And there's a lot of teams that have done the majority of the work. I think Skills is one of them. Foot is one of them. Even Lock was in 3rd place. They looked really good yesterday. They have done the majority of the work needed. And then other teams, for example, a Fairy Tail, yes, they played some good games yesterday, but they're on 18 points. They need a lot more if they want to qualify.
Yeah, this is the key thing. This is the key thing, right? We're looking for a top 8. And obviously, for those that don't know, obviously, this is the player tour. So it's the TPP circuit. And you and your friends can sign up and get involved. You just have to compete in the scrims. And if you find yourself on top of the leaderboard and with enough points against your team's name, you'll be invited to this stage. When obviously you are on this stage, there is a prize for grabs. And obviously, that's where we're looking for the top team. So we're looking for the top side. But I think the most important thing for these teams that we're looking for, as Koa said, is a top 8. Why? Because the top 8 will find themselves in the next stage. There's more prize pool. There's more to be had out the lobby. And actually, you can obviously crown yourself some more against the door. But obviously, there's week number 1. Week number 2 will be next week. So I'm interested to see. Historically, we'd see a lot more heavier teams here, Koa. We'd see the, I suppose, the household brands, as I like to say. But because of a lot of other international events, this week and potentially next week is quite open to see some shining lights, some new teams, some new names to kind of ensure that they make it through to a Super Cup.
Absolutely. If you've been watching yesterday, you already saw a lot of new names, right? You already saw a lot of teams that we haven't seen before. You saw a lot of teams that we've seen a few times, but not regularly, making their first appearance here or getting their feet wet a little bit more. That's going to be even more the case next week, right? That's going to be even more the case next week, because next week, the top 8 of this lobby will already be out. They will already be qualified to the Super Cup. And that is going to open up a whole bunch of new slots for new teams to come in and fill that gap. So more and more teams are going to get a chance to qualify, going to get a chance to, again, sort of, get their beaks wet against the big dogs. And I think that's an exciting prospect.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? This is the key, and I definitely would say when we first started these circuits early part of the year, it was all the big household names, right? They were the ones getting used to the kind of the TPP circuit. But more and more as the weeks go by, we're starting to see these kind of new names and getting their beaks wet. And it's really good to see. We are seeing new names. We're seeing other names that have been in the FPP world but haven't kind of made the shining light, should we say, because we have a lot of competition in our region. But I feel like with this tour, with these regions, is allowing us now to kind of have these teams to work their way through. And as we can see, Skittles were the one. Oh no! I erased this from my memory, but it's back with vengeance here, Go.
I mean, highlight of the day. Highlight of the day easily. Touch the insides. Captain Pitbull of all things, is the one dancing on the stage. Yeah, that's the story's PUBG rights, I guess. But yeah, it's going to be super interesting. I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited to see what the teams are doing. We have some teams that underperformed. We have some teams that outperformed a little bit. We'll see how they rectify that. And I'm already hearing we'll have a much fuller lobby today than yesterday, right? So some of the teams that haven't been able to show up yesterday, we even had Winner Chicken Dinner come in the last game today. But we should have 2 more teams in the lobby tonight. So that's awesome. That's going to mean we're getting a little closer to that real competitive PUBG setup with 16 teams. We're going to be on 15, but from what I heard, that's going to change things quite a bit. And hopefully teams can adapt in time.
Let's break that down because the key thing is obviously understanding that actually there was an element of space to play. It would be the kind of the logic, right? That we're down a couple of teams, and the teams, some of them did take advantage of that. But I think a lot of the games yesterday were quite aggressive. We saw a heavy start with Foot. We saw Skittles come out back to back. But a lot of individual teams or maybe duo teams they actually put a lot of points against their name. So it left the mid pack of our table really close together. Now, obviously, if we get some additional teams in the lobby, means there are more points up for grabs, but obviously the points will be what makes surprises. And as I mentioned before, as I said, you guys can get involved, right? Week 1, we're currently in, so we've done the whole green bit. We're currently in that player cup section at the very top there, the best of 8. So only 4 games remaining, and as I said before, those top 8 are the ones that will be making their way towards Super Cup, which is a best of 12. So lots on the line, but obviously we still have week number 2 next week. Though these teams can get involved and the scrims will reset. So this, and arguably, Caro, I think you said it yesterday, these are the couple of weeks that you can get yourself involved because there's a lot of international events on. So actually, you and your team can get involved and you don't have to take on the lights, the big dogs, because some of them are already traveling.
Absolutely. This is the time to get in, and a lot of teams have done that. A lot of teams are doing that, and a lot of teams are trying to use that chance to their best ability. This is the leaderboard we got for you tonight. Some of the logos at the right side might not be absolutely perfect, but the left side is correct, and that's what matters the most, as well as Hive, Go Next Esports, Drink and Fly. those are the teams that matter the most. Hive, super surprising for me to see them on 14. But if we're being real, a Fairy Tail on 18, that is not even arm's length. That is super, super close. And it looks much better to be 5th than 9th, but it doesn't really matter. Everybody until Go Next is absolutely on a best of 1 status for qualification. And even a Twisted Inside or a winner chicken dinner, they win 1 game, they frag out today, they're making top 8, right? They have all the chances in the world.
Yeah, I think that, again, I've kind of got to emphasize what we've just said. 1 game is the key thing. 1 game will be able to put them on the left side of the leaderboard, and if they don't get the opportunity, they can reset and come back next week. Rather, they're just going to go for the scrims. But the big shock for me is Hive. Hive has just come off winning Masters number 2, and arguably, they didn't win it easily, but they were super consistent every day, and there was 3 days of best of 6 action, and they were consistent. And then for them to come and reset in the Players' Cup over a best of 8 scenario, I think they're struggling, and for me, it's a shock. 1 game should be okay. 1 game should be enough. Maybe they sort of dial things up today, and I would expect them to sort of shift themselves over to that left side of the leaderboard, but we'll have to wait and see. Other teams might be a bit more hungry.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be really, really surprised again. I might have to eat my words after this Player Cup. If I had to lock in one team that would 100% qualify, it would have either been Hive or Foot, and I was going to go with Hive because they haven't gone through player changes. That hasn't materialized yet. Again, if you take that top 8 out of the lobby and you put Hive in next week's lobby, I'm still saying they're qualifying 100% of the time there. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what the players are doing for us. And we got a game ready. We got a game on our hands. We've got 4 for you tonight. And as always, we are starting on Miramar. Game 1 out of 4. Game 5 out of 8. Let's go, Mark.
Let's go. It is Miramar, match number 5. We're coming in from the west down towards the southeast. This does favour the south side of the zone. So southwest, arguably all the way towards the southeast. As zones shift towards the north side, well, that means we're going to have to extend up. That means the rotations are going to have to be key. But I want to come back to your point about Foot Esports versus Hive. Yeah, you're right. Foot Esports arguably have had a 50% roster change, right? I still don't think Scav's 100% settled with this team just yet. He had a few more run-ins with them. But after talking to T-Bone yesterday, he was like, he felt comfortable with Schroed, despite he went down a little bit earlier. And the communication, they're still trying to work on. But he seemed to be happier, even though I'd argue to say only 2 of his games yesterday where they performed versus the other 2, they kind of bombed out a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I'd agree. And considering the amount of player changes they've gone through, I'm not worried about this Foot at all. I feel like they're doing really, really well considering all the circumstances and considering how it is to lose players to bigger orgs or lose players to what seems like a retirement, right? That's not easy. That's not easy to deal with. We've seen it time and time again. So them doing so well and so solidly here, I think you have to give them some credit. Right now, they're going into Impala, and they've got some visitors here, Mark.
Yeah, they give them some credit. They go to a normal drop, but the joys is they have some bodies to talk about getting warmed up quite early here. Scav lines things up, AK in hand though. Schroed gets the first one. Listy TV goes all down, so Scav's getting the information. He knows where 2 of them are, looking for the adjacent one as the spray will go through. Doesn't quite get the connection, but he does do some damage. He knows the red's going to be. Let's see if Foot can turn things around and continue to apply some pressure. But they've got to be quick and they've got to get looted.
Schroed does what he's on the team for. Puts the first one down. Bit of damage in the bank. Almost finds the second. Gotta be careful. He's not having a whole lot of bullets left, but he does the damage again. And he wants to make the cross, but he's gotta be really careful. Nikioja, he was ready for it. He's gotta be a little wary. What's going on there with Aitzi? Is he being hunted?
Looks like he is, you know, third party action. Team obviously needs some early aggression. He's out on his own. He's being hounded down. The cards are coming through. The C-SWAT coming through. How has he just stood still and then nearly dodged? So Foot Esports down to a 3-person. Let's get punched out at the end. And JVN obviously need the additional points, right? Because remember, they missed part of yesterday, so they've only really got 4 games to provide action for 1 day. You know, to put them. But because the leaderboard is pretty tight, actually arguably a good game here for day number 1 for them, day number 2 for the rest of us, is going to be a good start. So third party action, it plays into the point system. No, plays into the point system. Half-price chicken dinner, kills mean everything, and that is an aggressive start from them.
Absolutely, love to see it. They see a weakness and they exploit it, you know. You could always play a little bit more defensive. You could play a little more careful. But I love to see them coming in with a bit of momentum, with a bit of speed. And I said this yesterday, I'll say it every time you ask me. If you can go for a free kill in this format, you probably always go for it. You probably go for it every single time. And beautifully executed there. And we were looking at the map split. They have already maneuvered over to a better position in the circle. Loot in there. See you later, Ellis. That one's going to hurt a little bit. But they've already made the right choices off of it as well. So really good start for Joven.
And the thing is as well, right? We've got the recall system, so they can go get the chip if the chip is still there, and they can obviously get Ainty back, right? So that's okay. But actually a point on the board and the ability to go get the position, I think that is crucial now for the team. Esports though receiving delivering out another knock. They're obviously looking for the additional move. Shrode gets another one down, and unfortunately, Elise again, third time's a charm. Doesn't mean she's going to bleed out a little bit quicker now. Shrode doing Shrode things, and he's putting the Shrode show on. I think we need to question though his survivability. So I like that he's being disciplined at the moment. He's kind of holding the angle, and he's letting Scav and T-Bone kind of joystick their way on the south side. Just check off these buildings at the moment. Get the sound cues in. Scav's found sound cues now in front of him. Is Captain Dance. That's what I mean, Captain. But now they've got the information. This is going to be key now for Foot Esports. Now Shrove, potentially when the attention gets drawn back towards T-Bone and Scav, he can now apply pressure on the other side. Twisted. They need to keep disciplined here. They need to ensure they get an opening knock.
If they figure this out, though, they can run Shro down. I feel like there's not that much that T-Bone could do about it. Scav is just now getting in a position where he can actually see much. Pitbull trying to get the nades over the top, as he knows about T-Bone just as much as T-Bone knows about him. There was definitely a window there for us to see, but oh no, Nicosia steps wide into the open. He did not know about T-Bone, or maybe he was trying to force the issue. Just like that, instantly put down. You can't make those mistakes.
Oh my days.
With Throw in the lobby, you can't make those mistakes against a team like Foot. The first simple one, instantly punished.
Shrove using the angle to peek to perfection now. Let's get the knock. You remember these guys are bleeding out now as well. One kill confirmed. Nade will go over the top here. Ace in hand here from Shrove. He's going to use the smokes to cross over quite wisely. The MP5 though upstairs. He's going to try and tighten up with T-Bone now as he does work his way in. He has seen the cross. This is the body again. Pre-fire will come through. There's one. He's fixing the second. I wait for the pre-fire. Gets the second, and T-Bone finds easy success with two. Clean.
Easy clean up. Well done. Just in time as well. Oh, that would have been sexy. They realize that the third party is here. They realize 7G has knocked on the door. And they will take their time to reset this, slow this down, and probably get out of there as much as they can. They don't want to be stuck here below 7G. They still have the car. They can still get 80, as you said. It won't be that easy now. But 7G is surely not going to sit around the entire game. Once they get nothing here, they should probably be falling away.
They should be falling away. Let's see. Obviously, they're on the outside edge of zone as well. So, we'll wait and see what they do. I think that if they get an opening knock, the question is, does 7G play into this? Do they try and get the points on the board? Again, a good game for them. Might be looking to secure their spot. 30 Sports, would they argue, are in the top 8 already and will stay there. But T-Bone with a good connection. Maybe disengaging, working our way around the east, maybe playing towards truck stop will be the better approach because they can try and hold 30 Sports on the other side. But saying that, Gwynix gets thrown down. We talked about his survivability here. But is 7G gone open and even to try and play into Impala? I think it's a bit of a task.
Yeah, I don't know what the game plan is here. I don't think the game plan can be to breach Impala, so to speak. I think the game plan's got to be to move on and move past them. It's good to out-rotate Foot here, right? You're out-rotating the Impala team and you're putting themselves ahead of them. You're getting the good spots. Now you're getting all the information. It's not all too bad. It's not a problem for 7G, but maybe they're also trying to abuse the new meta, right? They want every kill point they can get. I'm just thinking it seems extremely hard to really force the issue here and get the kill points.
Yeah. It's a bit of a task, though, isn't it? Yeah, getting a knock there, and if it was closer, maybe get the cars. The train's not there for the car rotation in either, is it? So you can't run in, you can't get the car in. So it's relying on kind of a bit of a util to get a confirmation, maybe just get a point and run. So it's not going to be the case here. 7G, I think, doing the right thing. Yes, they've got a knock. Yes, they know who's in there, but I'd argue as well, Cara, they know who's there anyway, based upon the kill feed. But more importantly, their homework, they will know Foot Esports will jump for Impala every single time. So they opt to just go further around. They might have taken some of the cars. Now they have the opportunity to try and control them out.
Yeah. What do you expect to see is what we just saw. The real question is, yeah, does Foot go for it? I think they do. I think they would go for the blue chip here. Skittles is in close proximity. Winkley has already let him know with a few shots, so that might scare them off a little bit. But I'm thinking, if I'm Foot,
I think T-Bone's got it.
I'm staring it down a little bit. I'm figuring out how much pressure is there really. And then I'm realizing, okay, like, this is a player that we're reviving for sure. I think T-Bone's not the one going for it, but Scav is the one looking. He's scouting. He's seeing how much Skittles are really putting into this. And once they realize, okay, like, this guy is now busy shooting somebody else. There seems to be another team driving around. It should be a quick drive-by, scoop up the chip, get back to resin. Should be very doable.
Especially if Jovan's actually picked the chip up and put it in the car. They did punch him out, so we know they were out of the vehicle at the time. We'll have to wait and see, though. Sloy comes out, though. Spear in hand, one. Goes for the second, though. Does some great damage. Comes in from a far distance. Hadouken, though. Hits at range. Sloy's down to 2 HP. He's going to need some more help, though. The rest of the guys are coming for the reinforcement. I didn't think they saw him there. Sloy will fall. Winkley, though. Long distance shots. Good connection. But he's catching the door as well. But they will just survive for now.
Messy stuff. Barely alive. Now Go Next wants to get involved. Wants to put the damage in. That nade's not gonna... It's going past the building, yeah.
Great nade.
That should do it. That should do it. Locks him in. Sloy flushed. Point collected. Well done by Drink and Fly, but not much more to gain from that situation.
No, they need good games now. 3 more remain here for Drink and Fly. Skittles collapsing is going to give Foot Esports the opportunity to kind of work their way up zone. Comes back down slightly, so we do have kind of Cantera sitting roughly in the middle. Their Minas Generalis is sitting in the middle as well, so some of these teams need to move in, but quite like this terrain. There's a lot of verticality here, so especially that northeast corner where 7G are coming in, they can sort of play into some of that verticality. Fairy Tail are there as well. Maybe teams like Lock, we know they can lock things down, no pun intended, with a 2-2 split. So they're going to hold some real good real estate, but they're going to also herd in a kind of recall system. Expectations for me, maybe he plays back down towards the southeast, but we've got one more random zone just to sort of have, and Conquest coming in quite late. They're trying to thread the needle here in between Fairy Tail and Hive.
Tricky situation. There's the respawn. Just barely spotted that on 80. Gonna get some scouting done for Foot here in this zone. That's what we talked about yesterday as well, is another way that you can end up using. You can end up using these respawns. Where does he end up going? We'll have to wait and see. But he's going to spot a lot of that eastern side for Foot, and he's going to make their approach so much easier here. If you have the map stream open, if you're on PC, if you have multiple monitors, 100% get that map stream going. Get yourself a bit of an idea of how the big dogs play. You'll see that AT has just scouted the entire eastern edge for Foot, and that's where they're going now. So yes, he doesn't have any loot because he didn't drop on any dead bodies, but really nice start for Foot regardless. Really nice way into zone now.
Here's a nice way for zone. Conquest in the other hands. Oh, my Conquer, how many teams they can bypass before getting in. Fairy Tail, not just a couple of shots, but they will transition past. They're going to now work towards 7G now. Okay, so, well, on top of the ridge. Unfortunately has run out of momentum on the car. Groan does get it. Here comes the car with a bit more momentum, and he gets the knock nearly as well. Kesa goes down to 4 HP, and he does deliver a punch at the end. That is unfortunate for him, and look at that without dope at distance, providing the third party action. 7G launch the nades forward, cause a bit of damage, and without dope, a team looking to get points as well. They are collapsing in here, so lots of early third-party action. It means organised chaos here for game number 5.
Not sure if I'd call this organised. This is a bloody mess. That is. This is everything just exploding all of a sudden, right? One knock comes in, 7G wants to get involved, Dope wants to get involved, Dope loses a bit of an entry there, but they should get the res despite being in the blue. And now even Fairy Tail wants to get inside. Conquest not quite done just yet, with Antlers still interested as well. That northeastern side is looking spicy right now.
Yeah, and the zone shifts towards the north as well, so more teams to collapse his way. FUT Esports, again, not under the same pressure as some of these teams, so if they walk on towards a third, fourth or fifth party, they might take it based upon the point formats, though. Without dope, I'm used to train to their advantage, gonna think they wrap around towards the safe side. T-Bone, though, has he seen him? He's seen him now. He has definitely seen him. Lines up the shop. T-Bone has also seen him as well. Scab not in line though. T-Bone scammering as quickly as he can towards the base of the mountain. Without hope, take a few shots and Shro will send him packing back to his team. He goes. But without dope, now know there's another team joining the fight.
Yeah, they've got to be really wary about this. Now they see the knocks in the kill feed. They know who it is. They know 7G is down to 1 as well. They should do the maths there. They should know. That should allow them to have a bit of a clearer picture of what is actually going down. But T-Bone is not done just yet. He took those few shots and said, well, I don't really care. I don't really mind. I'm taking the top of the mountain. And I'm getting aggressive. He's putting himself in between 2 of Dope here. But lucky for him, Habibi's not looking any longer. Habibi's already getting out of dodge. So T-Bone will live to see another day. And they might just pressure on here, Mark. They might keep forcing this fight.
Gonna be key. Again, FUT Esports don't nothing to lose, right? We know they're going to be in a top 8 scenario here. They normally do anyway on week number 1. So they're going to use the momentum they generated yesterday. Conf does get a confirmation on towards Conquest. T-Bone, he knows the players around here, so just waiting for the rest of his boys just to tighten up before making the move here. 5 kills already. Phase number 3 underway. And FUT Esports, though, driving without dope backwards at the moment. But T-Bone not eager just to press on over just yet. He's unsure where that player's moved to.
It's a bit unsure, especially because he took those shots earlier, right? He knows he can't go up as much as he wants to. Gotta be slow about things. They got the time as well now, but the problem is, Mark, you see they have 30 seconds left, but the zone's going hard west. The zone's not staying here at all, so... Skittles are EPing onto the rock here? It's phase 4 coming in. This should go all the way west every single time. I'm not sure about that, but it's definitely not good news for FUT either.
Yeah. Wait and see. Here comes the EP. Time-wise will be good in the context of the zone coming in for lock. It will get exposed. Does shift away. There you go. There's the unplayable. Does go towards that west. But for them to take over an EP and take on a lot of ground, maybe 1 for scouting. I suppose you can see the vehicle moving. Actually, they've left it. They go 2 in the vehicle. They're now going to collapse. FUT Esports, though, still chasing down zone again to figure out how they sort of work their way. And Skittles next up on the chopping block, potentially. Skittles been having a good couple of days, so a good couple of games for us. So see what they can do here. Day number 2. Go Sports. As, the rest of the teams will say go next. They have the opportunity now to res.
Lucario, desperate times, desperate measures. Sending it on through in the Mirado. Circle goes as exactly like you said, right? We'll see if he finds a home.
Oh,
Joven, meanwhile.
so unfortunate.
Yeah. Timing doesn't work out for them. The breach is there for Weewoo. And so far they're getting the better end of it.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Pre-fire on the door was perfect. Just missed the player. Weewoo all the way around. Secured the victim. Quick kill confirmed. Up down. Lock obviously did collapse, so they're still on a kind of a 2-2 split, but they're holding the compound. Could hold for them. They can get eyes onto this now. Weewoo. Limited amount of time to try and get that res. Go next to Esports will look to try and come in this way as well. So they've got to be cautious to a degree. Here comes Locks nades. That will bounce. find itself in a good position. A bit of splash damage now as they all put him over the shoulder. And getting back to a bit of hard cover. That should give him the safety of a res, but it's not the best angle. A good amount of util dump here. Can pick out players, and if you've got things like the blue zone nades, one or two of them, plus a couple of nades, you tend to find you'll dig out any team trying to lock it down. So we will, limited amount of time, they could be cautious how they try and defend this.
Yeah, not gonna be easy. You say defend, but they've got to attack at some point, right? They gotta get in there. They got not only a solo waiting for them, but the entire team of Lock trying to do their name justice on that southern Minas side. Foot has shifted into the east of Minas. They found a solo. They found 7G again. They're looking for it. Go Next, playing the dips. Lots of dips here played by Go Next. Not bad for me, honestly. Not a bad split, but you got to be a little careful about the angles. If any team around them has too much space, it could just be game over.
Yeah. Interesting for Hive as well. They're kind of hunkered down here, right? I think they're looking for a good victory here. They may be looking for a win. That'll give them the confidence to come into these kind of final 4 games. So we'll have to wait and see. Fairy Tail on the other side of the road, but have been splits. They've been gathering information. As April can see the smoke in the background. Skittles also working off the high ground as well. So 2 kills at the moment. Fairy Tail to maybe collapse and find safety in numbers. And I guess that zone shift again goes back towards that northwest corner. But Esports, doesn't matter what they do, the zone does not like them today. This is a difficult rotate. For me, for Esports to either go towards the base where Lock is, to try and get ahead of him and wait for him to come off the high ground, or maybe go for a little bit more of a full send in towards the center and try and find one of those dips, especially on the south side. There's still a lot of playable terrain. You can get those cars parked up. You just got to, again, be cautious. It's going to become under fire. Hopefully they've got enough smokes in their back pockets just to stay alive at the moment. But the rest of everyone else, they have to move in. Phase number 5, well, it packs a punch.
Yeah, absolutely. Skittles got the kills that they wanted here, I guess. But it was always going to be rather hopeless to make it into any zone here. That being said, Hadouken has snuck his way on in. He's finding just 2 of Fairy Tail in front of him for now. Once the reinforcement comes in, it's going to get that much harder.
Hadouken!
Lovo.
He's got away with it.
This looks like he really had a good idea, but he was just looking the right way, not actually focused on it. Didn't actually stay around long enough to see him come out of the rock. Hadouken, well done. Blue healing that little bit more.
Hadouken!
Finds 1 headshot, finds the second surely. He could easily find a 3rd here. What? He's got 1 left.
Finish him. I absolutely love it. Hadouken, not just 1, 2, and 3. He underpins Fairy Tail solo. Skittles already on 6 kills. He's been able to deliver 50% of that with 3. Looking to do some more. Able to work his way down. There's another one on the board. That's 4 for him. Hadouken, confirmation will come in from Conf. And then Bomberlivo will go down as well. So 1 man, 1 Street Fighter army. And he's underpinning everyone else.
That is so crazy. I mean, the first headshot is beautiful. And then the 3rd player is still not able to react in time. But the crazy thing is to me that Bomberlivo was looking so long. He was looking that way. Like he had an inkling. Like he knew there might be a Skittles player in the blue still. But he just didn't trust himself. He just wasn't sure enough. And that cost him the game here entirely.
Insane. Insane. And what a name as well. Hadouken. He just gets 1, 2, and 3. And he's done. Look, well, they are looking to try and take the fight, which is close to them. They are collapsing. The Foot Esports do play towards the south side, so they'll be looking to get involved. As Go Next do take one of those ridge lines on the south. So a couple of nades will come in. That will underpin their position. Max don't paid will try and hold. The MG will pack a punch. As Salik will eventually get Wee Woo down. Look, just about getting the opportunity to get one of the reses back in. Foot Esports, though, it felt like this whole game they've not been able to stop. 7 kills. Scav has been knocked. They haven't got Shro back, but they have got Inti back.
Yep, he's the one that originally got them into this position. Now they're going to need him. Fight them out of it. T-Bone's going to play around the corner a little bit. He's going to try and survive for as long as he can. But the problem is there's 2 more Lock players coming in. We're only seeing the ones in the building, but you're looking at the minimap, you see 2 more coming in. They're not only just closing out that angle, they're also coming in with more util. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter when Salik's that ready for it. Hits the crouch jump. cleans it up. Just like that. Foot gone. But I think once again, Mark, they've done the work here, right? They've gotten the points already. And it's a classic Foot Esports game.
Yeah, the zone continuing to leave them, so they had to work their way down. Salik would have had eyes on T-Bone, whereas T-Bone couldn't quite see him. Don't get me wrong, I think T-Bone had the sound cues exactly where he was. But no helmet, Salik punish, definitely. So good use of the tools, good use of the terrain to their advantage, and unfortunate for Foot Esports though, the zone continued to leave them, and that got left them packing. But I think they've done enough. I think at the moment, especially for some of his teams, if you see a Foot, if you see a Skittles taking points here, Kowo, that's going to be punishing for you. You need to get ahead of them.
Things will almost start slowing down a little bit. I think Hadouken is the one that's got to move in still. Brightside is sneaking his way on in as a solo. Then go next. Surely cleaned up here in the next few minutes. As I say that, I forgot about one of the solos. I forgot about Turkish Bay. He's in the back. He's picking up one. He's making this harder for Lock than it was a few seconds ago.
Good flash. So I'm just trying to figure out exactly where his second flash will go through. He does get caught himself, but able to close the gap again. Now he has to wait for the flash to get clear. He does go over the top. Sees defeat. He tickles down. Lock will eventually haven't done well. Not in the placement points though. Don't forget, we are looking for top 4 for placement points. It's half price chicken and Conquest, where there's no half price in Burning to Death, as they will become crispy clean in 6th. And Hive, yeah, point on the board.
Quiet game for Hive, but usually the winning spot here. I just don't know if they're aware or how aware they are of Fairy Tail. I don't think they're aware a single bit, and that's a problem, right? We've just seen what a solo can do. We've just seen what a Hadouken did to Fairy Tail. Now we're going to see Fairy Tail try and do the same thing to Hive. While they might be very, very busy cleaning up the rest of the lobby, claiming space, maximizing points. So nice nade from Lock. They're going to take control of the top, but I've got my eyes pinned on Brightside, and I'm excited to see what he can do and if he stops Hive here completely.
Yeah, don't get look, really good use. A couple of things there we saw from Lock. Obviously, top able to jump, so he could see just above the sort of smoke that gave him the information. He's able to line up his nades. So well played again. We are in the TPP mode, right? But there's store tools, there's store skills that these players have to learn. And that was just one of them there. The ability to kind of look above the smoke. We saw some other players. You mentioned Pixel before. He was definitely one that sort of sat on the front of a bonnet and was crouched, just so he could always see above the smoke as well. So love to see that we're seeing these sort of new tricks and trade and some of the old school methodology coming back as well as we work our way in. Oh, just on the outside edge of zone, but just the same. They were 9 kills, so good start here for day number 2 for them. And you got to remember, they were pretty close to getting victory, not just once but twice.
So rough for Lock to lose that player. Not a hero, but Salik before this just lost it to a solo. Hinders their chances massively, hampers their chances from a solid 50-50 maybe to now in disadvantageous position. Down to court. And Brightside, well, it's not a Hadouken performance just yet, but it's a massive showstopper for Hive.
Yeah, sure. Massively. Here we go. That's cleared him. 10 kills now on the board. We're in top 4, so we are in the placement points now, so every double up will count. As you get towards the first, and you pick out 5 additional points here for first place. Hive with 3, Lock with 3, winner, chicken dinner with 2, and Fairy Tail down to a solo as well.
Bonk. Shengen 2-taps him, takes him out. They still lost that member. They're still equalized now with Lock. Granted, Lock still has to deal with the players around him. Top chick. Big leap of faith. Trying to get down that mountain, but he's going to have to 1v2 basically against winner, chicken dinner, because the rest of the team is just unable to move at all.
Yeah, they are pretty locked down here. Chicken dinner though on a slight split. Here come the Doritos down. Careful, he hasn't quite got the information, has he? He's trying to use the tree to his advantage. Now he sees the player. Now the nade comes through. That bounced past him, but he sees the player literally jump down the hill, passing the cover. Once Further afield, Presenti gets the knock. I wonder if the winner chicken dinner understands who's in front of him. And will now. They have sort of spun their way around. Got another kill on the point. That's number 3. It's Fairy Tale. Well, they're going to fall in 4. So, additional placement points really up for grabs. They've got to be disciplined. And as I said before, Hive, if they get a victory here, that might set the precedence, though, for them on day number 2.
I get them back to the Hive that they were, and it's looking good, honestly. It's looking likely. They're in the driver's seat for this one. Yes, they got 2 duos to deal with, but they got space in the zone nobody else has. Lock, they got a little bit of high ground, but they're so pinned against that blue zone mark. They've just got nowhere to go. A few smokes. They need miracle knocks. Same is true for winner chicken dinner. This should be Hive all the way, and I think they're playing their cards right here as well. They're delaying quite a bunch, because yes, they have to move, but they shouldn't move before Lock is moving as well.
No. Look, Lock's very disappointed, right? They've not been able to confirm or win just yet. Well, I suppose in style, we've seen him at the top. But they're also sitting really high up in the leaderboard. So 10 kills and tabbing out in second or third. Kind of take it. Schengen does get the head. Oh, remember, no helmet though for Quinix. So all eyes on them. Feel like for me, for Lock, sit this one out, let it go. It's going to go down to winner chicken dinner. They're going to fall. Then it goes down to a 3 versus 2. They do have a split. Again, they're just about in zone. Hopefully Hive won't kind of fall on their sword. A win here will be key for them. And Schengen, well, he's holding the line here. Koa is just trying to gain the information, trying to joystick the rest of his team into victory.
I don't think they're fully aware about Buntig, but yeah, the trap's been sprung. Now the game's up. The nade is coming in, but that's way too short. That doesn't bounce enough. Unfortunately, the other way might work out. Rox might be able to get himself a present back, but if Hatet doesn't pull off a miracle here, if he doesn't go crazy, then there's no chance. And yeah, there's Rox connecting his nade. There's Hive putting it to a 3v1. And so far, they're looking firmly in control for this one, Mark.
Yeah, looking very in control. It's a winner chicken dinner. Hive will come back with victory as they swarm themselves to a good win. Now, obviously, 6 kills, 5 placement points as well. But Lock do perform when it comes down to the kills. So they'd be disappointed they quite didn't get the win. But again, another good game. And more important, as you said, actually, you would have put Hive in a driving seat for qualification. Maybe they've come back, review day number 1. That's a good way to start here for match number 5.
Absolutely. This is the Hive that we need to see. This is the Hive we're used to seeing. But yes, this is the game they always have to win. But they drive that home so peacefully, so clean, clinical, right? No problem at all. On the other hand, on the other side of the table, we've got teams like Foot and Lock who frag out, right? Get the points early, even Skittles to some extent, where their game should have been over on 6 points, but then Hadouken happened. And that's sort of the two schools here, right? Like, you can play for the placements, you can play for the position, you can try to put yourself in a spot to win, or you just go a little haywire. You go a little crazy, and you let your fraggers frag, and then both of those really, really work. We're going to have a look at leaderboard later on, right? And Lock's been the team that hasn't really won the games, but they've just consistently fragged. And that's absolutely a way to stay in the top 8, maybe even top 4 for these kind of events.
That's the thing, right? A lot of these teams, yes, there is money on the line, and yes, there's a prize pool to be had, right? But I think a lot of the teams, if we're honest, and we look back here, they're looking at this as a stepping stone. They've come through the scrims. They've got enough points. Some of them have been lucky enough to be invited, but most of them have worked their way through the scrims. This is the middle stepping point towards the end section, which is either going to be a Masters, which we had last time, or what's coming up next is going to be a Super Cup. That's where the money is. That's where, yes, they get a bit of rewards here, but this is a stepping stone. And to be able to get on that stepping stone to the final, well, arguably, you've got to be consistent. And I can't take anything away from your statement because Lock has been quite consistent. They've not got the wins, but they're getting the kills.
Yeah, and realistically, right, that's what matters. So you look at 5 placements and 6 frags, that's 11. You look at 10 frags, and I think Lock was able to get themselves 2 placements. That's 12. You know, that's easy maths. I can figure that out. Even during the stream, I can figure that out, so they can as well. It works. It absolutely works. And Lock, they play a really good game until that solo strikes. I think Fairy Tail play a really good game until that solo strikes. And Hive play a really good game until that solo strikes, but they're just so far along the path there, and they have so much control and they have so much space that it doesn't break their neck completely, unlike the other teams.
Yeah, it's going to be key, obviously, to make sure they don't break their neck. But we've got one game done. That means we've only got 3 left, though, here for day number 2. It's going to be time to take go. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in a few.
Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. This year, we're introducing structured competitive play in third-person perspective mode for players of all ranks, levels, and ability. Here's how it works in EMEA and Americas. PUBG Players Tour competition is held in 2-week phases. Each week, you and your squad can compete in player scrims. Think of these as a great alternative to ranked play. Each day of scrims will feature a variety of maps, with defined team and lobby sizes to ensure a balanced best-of-3 rounds. Teams will earn points based on their performance, and daily leaderboards will track their progress. When the scrims are over, the top teams will qualify for the PUBG Players Tour Cups, where they will be joined by up to 10 invited teams, featuring some of the best players in the region. Players' Cup leaderboards will track team performances across 2 days of play, with the top 8 squads progressing to the final round of competition. Players Masters are the pinnacle of the PUBG Players Tournament. 8 teams from each of the 2 cups will engage in fierce competition for a huge prize pool in each region across the PUBG Players Tour season. And for times when a Players Masters isn't scheduled, you can still get your PUBG Players Tour fix with Super Cups. These work just like Masters events, where again, 16 teams, 8 from each of the 2 previous Players Cups, compete for a share of the total cash prize pool. Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. You know the game. Be a player.
Game number 1 never disappoints from Miramar. It felt like the calm before the storm, but with players pushing aggressively, Ain't going out and having to be recalled, it is going to set the scene. Everyone is fighting for a top 8 position. Actually, not bad though. A comeback from Hive. Yes, not the kills needed, Koo, but they did get the victory. 3 more games underway. They should be one of the teams securing a top 8 spot.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, they basically doubled their points right now, right? That's literally what that game was for them. So they've gotten what they got in 4 games yesterday. They got in this first one. That's how big this is. That's how much this matters to them. So that's awesome to see. I don't want to sound like I'm a Hive fan or I'm biased. It's just
Lies.
It's what we expected to see, right? It's what we expected from them. And it's good to see that they can come back and bring a bit of the level that we're used to seeing from them.
Yeah, look, I don't think make lies or lies, but when you come off the winning of Masters, you'd expect him to be dominating the lobby. But I'd argue to say, obviously, Hive, as I said before, they've always been there. They've kind of worked their way up. They've been gradual in their approach, and obviously they've been able to sort of peak at the end at the right time. That bagged them the big money. Maybe they're going for a reset now, looking to obviously build up momentum again. So yes, it is very, very strong for them to see. Obviously, they are getting back into things. I think yesterday was a bit of a write-off day for them. Let's just not take anything more from that. But our first game, double the points, able to double their opportunities. But we'll be moving into Tago. For Esports, though, hyper-aggressive skill, getting kills as well. We saw some outstanding kills from Hadouken. So again, I do worry, though, when we see Foot Esports, Lock, and kind of Foot Esports, though, also Skittles, Foot, and Lock taking those kills. It does mean it'd be difficult for some of the other teams, especially when we come later on to a best of 8. But we'll have to wait and see. Still more games, still more opportunities for these teams to secure their spot.
It's going to be really interesting. I'm just sitting here wondering, and I'm wondering, are some of these teams that aren't playing Nations Cup right now, are they coming back next week, right? Are they going to play for this? Are they going to try to get themselves into the Super Cup? Are they going to be going for a qualification? Is a BB coming? Is a Twisted Minds coming? Is a Na'Vi coming, right? Those are all teams that we're missing right now. Because I'm looking at that skills team and I'm saying, well, they're looking pretty good right now. And if they can continue their form and none of the big dogs show up, then their only real competitors are Foot and Hive, I feel like, right? So a team like Skills that we've always seen at that cutoff, that we've always seen at the cusp, that I think is massive mechanically and really lacking strategically. Like we saw in that last game, they EP to a position that you should never go to. They could certainly be a contender for the top because a lot of the competition just isn't there.
And this is, if not at all a call to action. If you've been sitting watching the Players' Cups, right, thinking, maybe I've got enough what it takes, but there's a Twisted Minds. Maybe I've got enough what it takes, but we've got a Na'Vi, etc. in here. These 2 weeks, this Super Cup is the opportunity for you and your friends to get involved in. Why? Because there's a lot of international circuit on at the moment. A lot of teams are traveling, not just to PNC, but getting ready for EWC as well. So there is an opportunity for some of these teams like Skittles, the up-and-coming household names that we know, to be able to put their name into shining light. So again, make yourself get involved. We'll get you some details out in chat, so you can find some more information on Challenger mode, get your team signed up, and then make sure you take part in the scrims next week. And if you get enough points on the board, we'll see ya this time next week, though, in a best of 8 in the Players' Cup week number 2.
We'll see you next week. And I'll see things like I'm seeing right now. There's 2 teams going for Shipyard from this plane. That's a rare one. That's a rough one, I'd say. There's not a lot to share there. There's not a lot of space to share either. But it looks like there's 2 approaches, and Twisted is stretching a little bit further. Maybe going for a vehicle. Sure. Maybe going for a vehicle on the bridge or something along the likes. But 7G is hitting the ground now. So they should be getting away with the cars here. That they should be getting away with the guns. I'm not sure how much I like this for Twisted Insight.
This is difficult. Obviously, logic is right. Twisted Insight might have been going for these shipyards on the other side of the water, but the fact that 7 Gaming will get down first, he's going to get some guns and a parachute straight in the air. The Divines will get a few tags. We'll have to wait and see. That for me, they've got to get down. They can't continue this cruise. They've got to take those compounds just on the other side. Here comes some initial shots coming. That we're going to down Deviant. But remember, Queso on the other side, though, he has landed for that compound. He is taking on Twisted Insights head on at the moment with an ump in hand.
They found themselves a car. They're going for the bridge. They're getting out of dodge ASAP. Right call for them to make. That was a little worrisome, but it does work out. And we're blasting. We're blasting.
We are cruising. Absolutely love it.
Are they sponsored by PUBG or what's going on? There's a lot of skin promotion going on in this team.
They are sponsored by the new update, 100%. I must admit, those tunes are catchy, man. I'm hoping to see a performance at PNC. I'm just saying. I'm excited.
Ay. Works out for them. I'd blast the tunes in the car. I won't lie. It's an absolute vibe to just be cruising across whatever map it may be. Some of the best part of the integration for me, honestly, is just turning on the radio in the car. I wish there was always a radio that was a little bit more, funky. But look at that map. Look at Foot. Look at Skittles. That is looking like a clash cooking up for me.
Clash for Esports though. ANC went down early, looking to punish though these teams. Rotate. Sloy gets caught down to one shot. Having to work his way back. Scav though holding out, and we've seen this a lot from Esports, so they do like to position themselves over by this bridge. Hive looking to punish as well. Scav has to keep his head down. Now the tires have gone, but it does mean that actually maybe Skittles, the points are being fed towards Hive, who are already positioned on the other side of the hill.
It's looking a little dicey. Caught in early rotation. But they should be okay. If no one's going to get in the tires, right? Nobody gets those tires down. Skills should be able to maneuver their way on out. And get themselves into safety. Hope for waifu. Don't we all? Coming up the hill. But I'm feeling like he's going to be a little too late for 80. That being said, 80's moving towards him, but 80's just moving towards his own vehicle, right?
This is dangerous. This is one of the big things about this map, right? Now, I'll take the make good time to take on like Jazz, but generally speaking, especially that forest in that sort of north. Oh, he spun out. Ooh, he's out, nearly. Oh, he's unlucky though. Drink and fly. It's in the car, flying. In the north side of the map, that obviously those trees provide so much more additional cover than you'd expect, and sometimes those teams that are lower down can really punish players because they think they're safe, but their tippy toes get seen, and there's so many hard covering the sort of terrain, those sort of bushes. We've seen teams been able to camouflage, so they've been able to camouflage as well, even in a TPP format. So it should be okay. Once he is there, T-Bone does get a confirmation when they're chicken dinner. I don't think they know exactly where all the players are because Hope is still hoping for someone to stand on his landmine.
It's interesting because I'm not sure how this all went down. I'm not sure if Foot had an idea from the start or if T-Bone just walked up on a free kill there. Now they're looking, but as you said, the camouflage is insane, right? IT's not going to look over there and see somebody in that bush. It's just not happening. But now they're a little bit aware. That doesn't mean that they can just stick together for the rest of the game and never play split anymore. They might still step onto this, even knowingly, even knowing that there's a chance. If the game gives them good reasons to move over to that side of the hill, there's a good chance they step on it. That being said, I would not be surprised if Foot just play the eastern and southern side of this hill for now. Keep their eyes open, get the information in, right? Get themselves ready for any further rotations that they might have to get going in phase number 2.
Let's wait and see. Phase number 2 is on its way down. 7G, we saw the early engagement though on Shipyard, but they've also moved over. So they've gone away from the zone, guys and girls, to go take the fight here in Twisted. They are going to be sort of backed up now. Twisted Insights haters, just an FYI, just so everyone doesn't get super confused by the Twist logo or the Twist tag. Right, lays down. He's waiting for the player to jump into the safety of the car, but he doesn't need to jump into the safety of the car when he lines himself up for shots like this. Captain, he might be good at dancing, but he needs to dance around the 5.56 at the moment. He's down to one shot. He's able to get away just at the moment, but does he walk into the spray? No, not just yet.
Gets away just by a hair there. One mini bullet would have done the trick. The fence is enough to obscure that vision a little bit. More shots come in. Elias can't hit the bolt, can't even get the shot off. Alfred's so quick with it. And from what seemed like a reasonable retreat, 7 Gaming have just hunted this down, right? This is the team we saw parachuting over each other's heads a little earlier in the game. And that's now the teams that are clashing again. But can you call this a clash, Mark? I feel like this is more of a hunt. And it's very clear who's the hunter and who's the hunted.
Is 100% a hunt. This speaks to the point format. This speaks to the kills mean more. As these teams looking to get their confirmation early. A couple of points underneath your team's name. It's the difference between a victory, especially with the zone shifting away from you. 7G happy for this at the moment. There's 2 points already under the board. Looking for the third and final. Situated here. Not too far, using the angles where possible, just double checking the outside, so not overcommitting, not overstepping. Just tell me, don't know where this final player is. Captain, you know, likes to dance things off. But backed into a corner might be the last thing on the mind because the Panzer is closing in.
Man, like, I've been saying that this is exactly what you should be doing, right? Get those kills, secure them. You can waste some time. You can rotate late. But this is such a rough spot, right? You gotta look for so long. They're spending a lot of time here. Now Grenix half HP, grown 70 HP. The risk you're taking, it just starts increasing. That being said, you click that Panzerfaust fast enough. You don't have to worry all too much. Captain Pitbull, our favorite dancer and singer, out of the lobby. And 7G get themselves the 3 points.
They do. Fine. Get an evacuation. It's very hard to dig someone out of shipyard. And unfortunately, it is quite hard to find people that have buried themselves into the urban terrain. And for Esports, though, will find themselves having to get into chip back and recalled. Zone does shift towards that north side, so they get a bit of freedom on that as well. Limitation, obviously, the recall system. So might see for Esports go for a really wide rotation up towards that sort of north side. Or they sort of play back towards the way they come. Yungchung will be a temptation. Go next are there. Looks like they are going towards that as well. So they're playing back to where their kind of drop spot is. Just wait and see. That's the path and they opt to take. They might think it's the safer route at the moment.
This is a bit of a lucky outcome for Dope. Flying across just as Foot is leaving. In a circle that is relatively centered on Hive once again. Early spots, greedy splits. It's been the recipe for them. It hasn't worked out greatly yesterday, but this is classic Hive coming out of Godok. If you're a team that's playing at this kind of level, if you're a Foot, Esports, for example, you have a good idea of what Hive wants to do. You know that the Godok team, you know they like this compound. They like their 2-2 splits. Not that hard to read. That being said, we see that map right now, Mark. T-Bone's going for the res, but he's got to be a little careful here about Go Next right next to him.
Actually, quite interesting. A lot of teams sort of sending their way in towards the town as well. I'm not a fan of Godok endings. I've spoken openly about this. Urban terrain, this is a lot of urban terrain. One thing I will say about Godok is that a lot of people get teased into playing into that sort of area and the zone shifts away, so we should wait and see. Drink and fly. Looking to try and make something happen. Turn around 360 spray in towards the wall. That's not going to help just at the moment. Nick, let's try and back away. There comes a nade though, right on top of him, and Lock looking to try and lock this one in.
Classic Lock, getting the kill points when they can. Classic Hive, greedy splitting, getting tested, but not tested enough. That's interesting. Skittles scout this. Skittles don't see a lot of presence, but as soon as they take a bit of damage, they just go back. They're the one compound in the circle that should have a good idea. Or not just a good idea. Should have full information on how Hive is playing this. But they don't want to punish. They don't feel confident enough.
And a good position as well, just to stay. There's no need to commit to Godok, right? We've seen the so many zones play out to the outside, so why commit? There's a quick leader, but those Skittles are in top space. That might be a reason why they're kind of looking to punish, though. Taking that way high value will be good. As we do find them at 49 points. Lock in second with 43. Footy Sports down to third place. Hive, though, with that victory, will find themselves in fourth with 25 points. And then it is pretty close all the way down. I'd even argue to say I'll put Go Next Esports in there because a game from them, you might want to start if you're in that mid-pack, sort of ensuring you get back-to-back good games. You need to get a divide between you and that mid-pack now.
Yeah, you wanna close that gap. You want to get in touch. Now, Go Next. They're going to see T-Bone risen here, right? That's what's happening on that map right now. They're seeing that T-Bone is activating the tower, and they know that that's happening. I think T-Bone also missed the res by maybe a millisecond. I feel like the plane should be starting, but I think he might have just barely missed it. They don't know he's coming from the blue, and they know that there's a kill point to be gathered there. So that's the other risk of resin, right? It's not just getting the blue chip. Sometimes it's coming back from the tower That's the treacherous part, and we'll keep our eyes peeled because there is a good chance that GN just gets that off.
Got it. You got it in time, just.
Oh, okay.
ANT's coming back now, I think. Yeah, he is. Yeah, it was close. That was really close, though. I actually thought he missed it as well. But you're right. He's got to rotate his way back now. He's going to think it's safe. And the guy is there from Go Next. No, he's behind. But talk about that. Without Dope waiting. And Tim, he punishes. Winner, chicken dinner. Unable to get the momentum they need just at the moment for a win. Just lost one. Two. Now, no one falls. Without Dope, we'll be happy with the initial point. And they actually had very much the south side to themselves. So, again, eager just to control that area. Still Godak remains. Still a lot of hard cover in if teams want to send it towards that kind of west side. But for now, so 13 teams, 47 players, and the space is starting to dwindle.
T-Bones, meanwhile, made it in. Slipped through the open arms of Go Next. Gotten in safely, as we still have 13 teams alive. Like I said, space is starting to dwindle, but it's still reasonable, still respectable. Still good amount of space for most teams, I say. I'm not sure where Drinking Flyer going. But that's about the only team that doesn't have a clear and easy rotation path in.
Right. Unless they go for a full send, right? But it's difficult. Like, they're down a body, they're in the go dock area. Did they attempt to go back? Well, they've always kind of been evicted, right? Joven looking for a good games. They need good games. They've only got 4 in this best of 8 to perform. Lincoln flying past him. Just at the moment, they're going for a wider rotation. Obviously, we know, and for those that also have the map feed up, you'll also know that the northwest side of Godok will be clean. 7G, well, they passed by the danger of BRDM, but it's not much 7G can do about it at the moment. So it'd just be enough to sort of draw the lines away. And we can see T-Bone has joined back in with the rest of the team. Indy is down, so Footy Sports back to a 4.
This is an interesting prospect. So, BRDM, yes. No other car to assist. No other car to get any drive-bys going, or maybe soften the blow if there's a random Panzerfaust.
Yeah.
But a good pre-drive into the zone. They are in one of the pole positions to grab one of the best spots here, right? So, them going on through here could work out nicely. Now they're taking a bit of fire. But even again here, right? They hear one gun shooting from the best compound in the circle. Not even a single bit of an attempt of breaching it. This is something we've seen Hive get away with a little bit too much in this lobby, I feel like, Mark. They didn't even show proper presence here, and nobody was interested in breaching.
Yeah, because you normally see 1 or 2 shots, and you're like, okay, it's crashable, we're going to be RDM, we can play. I do clap.
Oh, I hate this.
We do lose to the Go Dock, but I think we're about to lose to BRDM as well, because there's nowhere else he can hide. The dip's not big enough here. Schengen can continue to provide pressure towards it. We've had the update as well. We know it's not as strong as it was before. So I think Schengen, if you can isolate that BRDM, he's going to know there's a squad there, and the squad cannot move whatsoever. So keep him locked in, keep him away from trouble.
I want to be the last guy that tells players what to do and tells players that they're doing something wrong, but you can see from 7G's reaction as well, they realized that that was not it. We gotta go. We can't sit in a dip where our BRDM is getting farmed. The BRDM is the only tool we have right now. Hold that thought though. Fairy Tail has found themselves a bit of a fight, bit of a drive-by versus Go Next. The trades are coming in. It's even fight right now. It's 2v2.
Interesting as well. Just hasn't gone to the FPP mode, so he's still fighting TPP. So you can see obviously when he switches towards that zoom in here, Nate goes underneath the car trying to find the player, but he's already moved his way around. Hayden will come in for the reinforcements, running towards a nade though, and that nade has caused some major damage. Both of them took an impact though. Bomalovo swings round, he gets one though. He launches another nade, has the opportunity to potentially go for the repeat. He's going to take the time now just to get the med on, so he's paid. He's going to be doing the same. There's a little peek over the top, sees though the car, and now he knows where his next target is going to be, and the pressure will continue to ensue.
Oh, these players are getting so clean with the pre-aim, right? They're getting so clean with getting their crosshair where it needs to be. before they even ADS. That was what we saw from Bombi there, putting down Acalyptos in the blink of an eye.
Oh my
Mortar's
God,
coming in though. HE gets himself 2.
3.
HE gets himself a 3rd. Oh my. That is wild and wonderful. Unlucky Fairy Tail. Torn to pieces. Fight took a little bit too long. And everybody said, hey, fights, kill points? Yeah, we're in.
I love it though, because Wee rolled up, woo, and they just got up. There's no one here. We best go back the other way. For Esports, see some bodies still standing, so ain't he happy to be the explosive spearheads of the team. Now Shro looking to continue that push forward. Footy Sports are on a 2-2 split, and you have to appreciate Ainsley on the other side of this road though. Shro and Scav kind of being the pinpoint accurates, zeroing in those mortar fire. They now need to think about how they get to the zone. So maybe looking to disengage. Drink and Fry will go down 10th place for them, and we'll win a chicken straight after 9th place.
Skittles losing 1 on the exit from the compound. Not what they would have hoped for either. But once again, up to 5 already. Up to 5 eliminations. That's good pounds. And they are one of those teams that's just playing for the win at this point. They're not longer playing for qualification. They've locked that in. They're just maximizing. Having a bit of fun on the way. Maybe trying to optimize their plays as well. Oh, you don't optimize that, Nate, any further, do you?
Pinpoint accurate. Lock looking over. Sulik, I think, weighing up. The toys are pushing that way or pushing towards zone. Skittles in hand. And it's a move. Footy Sports, though, freedom of movement based upon the leaderboard. They can punish here. That nade's going to be good. Bouncing underneath. Oh, we were able just to back away slightly. He bunny hops himself into Shro's loving arms. And he's going to fall. We were getting underpinned here by a one-man army. And the rest of the boys put up. It's clean. It's 8 kills. And Shro puts his first confirmation on the board.
Gotta get T-Bone back on his feet. The man's been fragging out. The man's just popping off this tournament. Good to see that for Foot. Ivor still chilling. Still solid, as you would expect from a center compound in phase 4. The shifts haven't been the best for them, for being honest. They could have been a lot more fed. That's not how that went out. That's the BRDM team. That's 7G. Now under pressure, now under fire. Losing 2. Potentially losing all 4 here. The blue zones are doing the damage. Dope is taking damage at the same time, but... Oy, that's a lot of names in the kill feed, Mark.
It's just third party action. Footy Sports back on their feet. They're just sitting there farming everyone in the middle. 7G, as you said, they've done the right thing. They knew they were in the wrong spot with the BRDM. They disengaged. They play themselves now towards a better position here. Lock trying to get involved here. Conquest backfilled that 7G position, where here come the mortar fire in. Skittles get the confirmation onto Lock with Salik. He will fall. And there's another BRDM maybe drawn into the dip. And maybe drawn away here from Hive, as they will send another one pack in.
Loy still standing. 4 now. Gonna lose a few players on that southern side, I imagine. Gonna lose Habibi, Chopchik, a Dukin. A combination of those 3. They can't all keep living here. They can't all make it in zone, especially with Foot. Having such good control, especially with Foot on the cluster drops here as well, Mark.
Yep.
Gonna make them so much harder to take out. And I've been the team that kept these BRDMs in check, but their IMO is suffering.
They are suffering at the moment. I feel like the patch has had a big impact. We're not seeing as kind of that meta of the BRDM, right? I know it's all pack day punch and Loy having to dance the dance. And he gets one though. One jumps out on top of his head. That's unfortunate. Hadouken lays down. The MG will rip apart as he will spray underneath. Doesn't quite get the connection. Now the nade will come through, but now the smoke has dissipated. He comes under fire, not just from the front from higher, but it's coming from the side. Conquest are falling down. The car's about to go. That's going to cause some more damage. We don't have the bodies there. I don't know if Conquest can get there and get that confirmation, but we're down to 5 teams.
And that's a BRDM up for the taking right now. I don't think anybody's in a position to be going for it. Habibi is under a little bit too much pressure here. 3 more nades for Shro should blow the back of that shack right open as well. But Habibi knows he's getting in trouble here. He's got to move. Gonna get that first aid off now. Another good placed nade could do the trick from Shro. Can you hit it? Doesn't sound like it. Doesn't look like it. Might have hit the tree because I just heard a nade explode very close to Shro. But that keeps Habibi in it and slows everybody else down a little bit.
Shro. It's not on the way. 1 kill. Esports though on 10. T-Bone on the whopping 5, carrying the team on his shoulders. Not fully collapsed. Ain't he still holds that sort of top side. T-Bone coming in quite late as well as Scav and Shro, the new boys, give or take, are on the south. 7G rotation their way around towards the center, down to a solo without dope is on the south side again. As a solo we can see in front, and Hive disciplined enough not to leave the compound, and as you said, Koa, surprisingly wasn't crashed early on, because that compound is normally a prior spot. So surprised people didn't maybe contest or at least try and challenge that duo split they had early on.
Calm before the storm now. Foot's on the domination path in this one. 80's still got a 3 vest. Util's there. Shro's had some time to warm up. He's not the one farming right now, but still a force to be reckoned with. And they must know as well that 7G is still lurking. It's another case of pretty easy math. 9 players alive. You're 4 man up. You figured out that there's 2 more teams, so they will know that there's a good chance somebody's in these shacks. But if you're Foot here, Mark, you almost want to let them live. Because where does Hive go? If they don't want to go into you, they got to go into the shack, and then you're happy that somebody's in there.
That's the thing, the zone, irrelevant of the zone shift back towards Foot Esports, Shro and Scav got the high ground so they can see the information, right? They can now punish. And then I was going to say, the kind of that T-Bone ain't position, I don't think Hive really know. We've just seen T-Bone punish and expose that slightly. So Hive now understanding they're I suppose tighter than the split that we see from Foot Esports, but with the split, with the solo living from 7G in the middle, you are happy. I 100% agree. Like, leave that body be. Even if they crash in, that means they're going to get kind of stuck in the mud. So it's not going to be a clean fight unless you want to get rid of 7G. You're forcing Hive to rotate their way around. You're forcing Hive to a longer position to where you guys are situated. I think they know exactly where all of Foot are.
I like this from Foot as well. Grouping up a bit. Pulling it into the 2-2 so they then can't get isolated as much. A drive-by doesn't catch a solo all of a sudden. I like that. It might just come down to the initial util here. It might just come down to the first 2 Foot players, ACT-Bone here, and how much damage they can do onto Hive. Bro wants to find a little bit. Takes more damage, but gets the info. And whenever the nades start flying, when the blue zones start flying, that's where this thing is really kicking off.
It's when it's going to start to kick off. Scav, 50% of his wheels will remain. But 100% of his opportunity, I suppose, on the elevation is still there. Still 4 versus 1, without Dope taking 4th place. And it is a top 4 position, and we are looking for the placement points again if you have just jumped in, though. Gwinnix, though, just on the outside edge of that blue zone. I think these guys are trying to figure out exactly which one of these shacks he's in. And to be fair, I would have gone that way as well, being very close to that BRDM. Would have been maybe an option for 7G, because if you're under pressure, you can maybe just sort of jump in. But BRDM might have seen better days. Hive starting to close in.
It's interesting that he didn't sit in the BRDM this whole time. Prefers the shack. There was blue zones in the hands, but they want to keep him if they can, right? Now the knock comes in, and look at that. Look at ACT1 Scav on the right side of the monitor. The nades are in hand. Everybody knows this is time to unleash. This is time to pop off, and just like that, another knock and a flush, and that's more and more nades coming in. Rox has a card to play with. The util's coming in. It's making life hard for him. It's going to blow him up. If he doesn't find an absolute miracle here, then he's out of the picture, and just like that, we're down to a 3v1. 4v1. Foot easily dismantle Hive Esports.
And look, this is the plan for 7G. Let's not take anything away from Grinix. He wanted to keep his head down the whole time. It was a question of, do you know what? We need to just survive out. A second place is going to be key here. Now the push comes in. Grinix, though, tries to step up. T-Bone goes down towards a one shot, though. Stro holding the door. Initial shots will come through, and it'll be a drop shot to end it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Foot Esports, though, with 16 kills. Great game for them. It felt controlled. It felt calm, and they collected the points at the end.
Easy. So easy. Even though they lose 8 to a snake that they can't really do anything about, they get the resin. They keep T-Bone alive when he's in the blue resin. They keep circle control at all times. Look at the map stream of this game. Look at phase 1, look at phase 2, and tell me how Foot is winning this, right? They're just clearly showing that circles aren't what you have to get to win games, because they're doing everything right in this one, Mark.
Yeah, Foot Esports, it feels like they continue to lose the zone, but I suppose every zone lost is an opportunity gained here by Foot Esports. Lots of early action. Actually, the guys obviously working their way in, but you're right, Foot Esports had to go back for their recall trip. They did step on their landmine. That was winner chicken dinner. But good play, good hold from them. The zone obviously was always going to leave that go dock area, especially after that second. And again, I come back to your point about Hive, right? How were they able to hold that 2-2 split is surprising.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I respect it. I think Hive are just testing the lobby, and they're just figuring out what to do, and they're figuring out how to get away with it, and I respect that completely. I just think people need to get a little more aggressive. It's so hard in TPP. I fully get that, right? People aren't peeking as much, so you don't get the same kind of information that you would normally get. But we see a lot of teams in position to punish these splits, and they're just not doing it. They're just not even trying, right? Like, even a 7G there, they've got the best vehicle for a pull-up that is possible. Yeah. They're rolling past in their BRDM on circle pop, past the best compound in the circle, and they get shot by one single AUG. For me, that screams pull-up. For me, that just screams, get the hell in there. There's a really good chance this is a solo or a duo. Both is absolutely fine. You take one of the highest buildings. It's really hard to re-breach for the rest of Hive. Just, for me, that screams like a pull-up. But again, we haven't really seen that in this lobby. We have seen one single instance of it in that first Miramar game, right? Yeah. I talked about it so much because I was so happy to see it. And ever since then, we haven't seen it at all.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. So with the BRDM obviously moving around, they're not quite sure. But I mean, I agree. I think they should have maybe played into that compound. But obviously, we're not in the comms, we're not on the understanding. But do you know what? They did the right thing. They were in the dip. They saw the BRDM was getting farmed. They had to play away. And do you know what? They took action. They got in it and they kind of shifted on. Well, we've got to shift on. And for now, though, that is game number 2 done. Time to Tego is to an end of this week number 1. We were coming back, though. It'd be time for Rondo. So we'll see you guys in a few.
Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. This year, we're introducing structured competitive play in third-person perspective mode for players of all ranks, levels, and ability. Here's how it works in EMEA and Americas. PUBG Players Tour competition is held in 2-week phases. Each week, you and your squad can compete in player scrims. Think of these as a great alternative to ranked play. Each day of scrims will feature a variety of maps, with defined team and lobby sizes to ensure a balanced best-of-3 rounds. Teams will earn points based on their performance, and daily leaderboards will track their progress. When the scrims are over, the top teams will qualify for the PUBG Players Tour Cups, where they will be joined by up to 10 invited teams, featuring some of the best players in the region. Players' Cup leaderboards will track team performances across 2 days of play, with the top 8 squads progressing to the final round of competition. Players Masters are the pinnacle of the PUBG Players Tournament. 8 teams from each of the 2 cups will engage in fierce competition for a huge prize pool in each region across the PUBG Players Tour season. And for times when a Players Masters isn't scheduled, you can still get your PUBG Players Tour fix with Super Cups. These work just like Masters events, where again, 16 teams, 8 from each of the 2 previous Players Cups, compete for a share of the total cash prize pool. Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. You know the game. Be a player.
Awesome.
And we're back. The penultimate game is about to be underway. Tago done, Miramar done. It's going to be Rondo time now before we move across the grassy pastures of Erangel. There's opportunities for some of these teams to work their way in. And I know we've alluded that this might be an easier week for some of these new bodies to get in. But it's now the penultimate game where they have to try and perform. They've got to stop a Foot Esports. They've got to stop a Lock. They've got to stop a Skittles farming the points, though, if they want to have a chance to go through to the Super Cup car.
It's more of what we would have expected when we saw the team lineup coming into this tournament. It's not really what we saw yesterday. I feel like we saw a Foot that was consistently fragging, but not dominating the games. We saw a Hive that wasn't really showing up at all. Both of those things have returned to normal, and we see a Hive with a solid second place and a Foot with a clinical just sweep through the lobby, you gotta say at this point, right? They were farming absolutely. So sponging up a lot of points at the top, but also keeping it close around the mid pack, right?
I'm so surprised though, because they just keep losing the zone, right? And they're having to chase it down, and they're able to find it, at least an anchor holder, footholder in these zones. So interested to see if anyone tries to close them out. See if anyone tries to close. I thought maybe Go Next would be that team that last game that actually they saw T-Bone getting that recall system. They had the opportunity to try and hold that team out, but obviously they opted to go for more of a north rotation. So intrigued to see how we sort of work our way. But it is the penultimate game. We've only got 2 more games left though, and we know Rondo is a spicy. This is where the gliders come into effect. Teams are able to scout a lot more because you get the hard spawns as well. Interesting to see some of these teams that maybe not on the top side of the leaderboard trying to use some of these additional tools to find a late game win.
Yeah, and like you said, there's 2 more chances. That's it. The tournament's over just like that, right? We've just played half of the night. We've played 3/4 of the event. And still, I'd say there's how many teams? 12 teams? 13 teams? 14 teams that can still qualify? You just got to start now. You got to get it going. It's so easy to talk about it. It's so hard to actually get it done. We've all been there. Every time I scrim against these guys, you know, you get your 1 kill every now and then, but winning games against these teams is incredibly hard. They're so practiced, so well versed. There is no surprise that a Foot Esport makes it hard for you, right? But that's where other teams have sort of found their groove a little bit. Some of these teams, they find their kills early. They try to avoid the big dogs. Other teams playing more passive, playing for position. There's different ways to do it, and there's different ways to find success, but you got to do it now.
Well, you got to do it now. Match number 7. It's the penultimate game here for the Week 1 Players Cup, though. For those who don't know, you can get involved. Sign up next week. Get yourself involved in the scrims. We've got 1 more week where we have to again find another top 8. But for this round, it's a northwest down to a southeast, but it does favour more of the east side of the map. But this time we go over test tracks and the Not Factory. And yesterday, Koho, those 2 places were left completely free.
I can't imagine that we see that again. I can't imagine we see it free 1 more time, especially now with so many teams in positions where they're not really worried anymore, right? So they can always go for it, and then, well, if somebody else comes, that's fine. We're ready to hard drop, but it is a team that really needs the points. It's winner chicken dinner who claims test track and factory for themselves. Massive loot spot for them. Foot going for Danqing, where we're used to seeing them. Joven going for a hot drop. 2nd time Foot's been hot drop today. And then on the northern side, once again, it's Dope versus Twisted Insights. And Twisted Insights is once again going for the vehicles and trying to get out of dodge.
Yeah, let's you get down and 1 body store up without Dope not too far away. But yeah, Foot Esports though have a hot drop though on that south side, but there's also an additional fight though. April does get 1 down. 7G going to find themselves down a body already. Fairy Tale again, a team which I'd expect to be slightly higher up in the leaderboard. They are currently in a top 8 position, I believe, as we're sitting a little bit lower down that top 8. So again, a good couple of games from some teams around them, and that might change. But back towards his hot drop though. Foot Esports though getting looted up, and so they've got to try and take on Joven here. A little bit of a different position. Danchin, well, all I'd say is a well-rehearsed ranked hot drop.
Well rehearsed. but possibly the worst at the same time. This is in FPP. This is already messy. Oh, Shro finds a freebie. Doesn't connect. SMG bullet's a little slow on that one. But in FPP, it's a rough one. In TPP, with all these roofs, moving anywhere, making any sort of play is incredibly hard, Mark.
What does Shro do? He's got 26, 23 bullets now. If he swaps to the shotgun, you're not hitting those shots. Oh, the nade, though. That's what Shro needed. He doesn't quite get the knock, but maybe he gets the opportunity. But you're right. This is rough. Rough. The only good thing is that instead of going sort of east to west, they're kind of going south to north, and both these teams in the kind of northeast side of the area. So limited when it comes down to the loot here. T-Bone looking to try and get a little bit of elevation himself. But they're outside the zone. So just go late, though. We are seeing Skittles, though, with one of their bodies getting early EP in towards zone. So Twisted Insights may have an insight into rotating because they haven't quite stopped yet to get any loot.
Oh, yeah, they're fully naked in their cars right now, driving around. No gear, no armor, nothing. I'm looking at this, though, and I'm looking at the minimap, Mark, and I see a bit of a flank with the VSS coming out. I think it's Turkish Bay. Oh, he's been spotted. Oh, that's a GG. I don't know if they both know about each other, but AT most definitely knows. So whenever any sort of moves comes out, he's going to punish. And yeah, there it is. Great awareness from AT to be ready for it. And I think, again, what do you even do if you're Joven here?
Yeah, you disengage. You have to commit to the fight. When they need to commit to the fight to try and get some points, right? They're going to come out here on top. If they disengage now and get caught in the run, it's going to be punishing for them. T-Bone, M16, as he leans, the Bumblebee will be just above. I think at the moment he's just trying to, again, continue sound queuing, trying to allow the rest of the guys to rotate their way around. As long as the eyes are locked into him, he will be happy. Shro, so unable to get that reload on the MP5. The question is, has he got enough in the chamber? But if they stack up with that shotgun as a reinforcement, that might be enough. Shro at the moment, again, just sort of teasing that door, teasing some shots in. Not quite coming just yet.
Not quite. There's the move. There's the SMG once again. 5 HP until again. Any sort of util to follow it up is great. It's a tiny building, but... Oh, they're on the bottom floor. They might be taking some damage here. Scav almost caught by that nade. Steps outside. Nowhere Tuka has a good off angle here, but again... It's a mutant, Mark. It's a mutant on this kind of range. If they hear any of the steps, which I think they have, they know he's exactly here. They're looking for the clear. This is an amazing window to be getting the information from, but Scav, even faking it with the little flashbang, doesn't matter. Gets out, gets the shotgun in, and there's the trade. 1v3.
I'll take the mutant over the M16. It's one of those guns for me. Oh my god! Oh, he nearly gets a second as well. Ainty's going to be there. I'd take the mutant over the M16. You know, like, I don't know if it's for you, right? But there's a couple of guns in the game that I can just admit they're not marked power cast guns. And one of them is the M16. The other one is the barrel. I've never ever been able to control the barrel to any kind of perfection. I had to kind of rely on the AK back in the day. Now I'm happy the ace is there. I can control the ace. Yeah. But the M16, oh my god, I don't know what it is. The person could just stand dead still, Koho, and I won't be able to hit a barn door. I'm telling you.
Yeah, there's a few guns. Everybody's got their guns, and everybody's got their anti guns out there. Scoreboard is on the screen, and Weewoo is the only one close to the top 8 at the moment for esports skills. Don't have to talk about them anymore. Lock has locked it in. Then with Conquest 2 Fairy Tail, we're getting a little closer, Mark, but they still have a solid cushion, right? 7 points to 9th place is still really solid. And then the big gap is between Weewoo and Go Next.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like the foot Skittles locked in, done, dusted. So our top 3 gone, right? Do you put Conquest in the mix? 30 points. There's a question mark around that one, right? With 7 gaming on 23, with Weewoo on 21, a good game, yes, with 5 additional placement points on top. I don't think it's enough. I think Conquest will be looking for a good game here. They're kind of working their way in the north at the moment, so I think they will, a good game here and the penultimate game might secure their spot. But this game and the next game, if the points are divided, or if a foot, Skittles or Lock farming a huge amount of points again, that's mean the last game could be a bit chaotic, and teams like we will go next Esports and wouldn't win a chicken dinner. Could go explosive, otherwise they're going home.
It's one of the two. There's Wiggle. Putting up a few points each game could just do the trick, and well, there's one. Antlers comes their way. The rest of the team is there on the pull-up. They're there on the drive-by. They're not messing about. There is the aggression once again from Conquest. Literally the team I talked about after the last game, where they're not scared from these compounds, but they test the waters again, and unfortunately they run into a very defended compound, right? And customer player resets them back into a more defensive stance and puts a point on the board for Weewoo.
Again, we just spoke about them, right? They're a team that just on the precipice of getting in, going through, seeing us in the Super Cup finals, right? Be cautious now. Excited for that anchor player. Maybe didn't know about that Conquest anchor player. The cards to drive back. Maybe hoping for them to step outside the compound onto those shots. But we will up a point here. A point closer. Taking on that fairy tale. That 7 gaming. One more in it. And we might find 7 gaming down. And we might be in a top 8 position.
They love that. They love every single point. Every single one of them comes in so handy. Throw gets tested. Hello. And even though there's a bit of help from Scav, that's an awkward bit of spray to hit, especially with that rapid stop from Dope.
Yeah.
Foot put a second on the board here, but I should say a 5th, but losing Shro once again. He's just been the one that's fallen the earliest for this team.
I love it. Production just said that Tree killed Shro. 100% I could agree. His spray was waiting. He had the momentum, I felt, of the car, and that tree just stopped him dead in his tracks. And as a result, he was dead to right. But you got to remember, Shro's in a test area. He's been trialed for these guys, and there's additional pressure for him. So when he's on 1 kill a game at the moment and Scab's putting 2, 3, 4 on, they might be looking back at them going, is he the right fit? Is he not the right fit? So really unfortunate there for the Shro show. Tree putting it quick end to it.
How rough is that though? Dope is trying to get away, and then there's just an EMP zone. Look at the Dope player on the bottom side of that hill. Yeah. I think it's they are completely stranded. What do you do from here? Your car stopped. GG. Just sitting it out. Waiting 30 seconds in the blue while Foot is figuring out what they want to do with this. That is...
Don't shoot. Of all things, don't shoot. You are fully exposed, they are. Now he shoots, Scav pops the smoke to the car where he knows where it is. Now he knows there's someone completely stranded. You say, what does he do? He's going to say, just don't shoot back to Scav. He could have got away with it.
Yeah, at least pop the smoke first, right? Like, they need that car. I don't think Habibi has one at all. If they don't have this car, they have nothing here, Dope.
They have to fight now. This is going to be punishing because you've got to remember, Foot have the cars, right? So that car's gone, the car's gone. We can see the one on the left-hand side. Habibi's one's completely denied, right? Foot Esports now potentially with another 2 targets, another 2 points on their radar. At the moment, sit on top of the leaderboard. Was it a 61 points these guys had? They don't need to leave. They can fight as long as they want in the blue.
Tough times. Oh, 3-tired vehicle. What?
What?
Hello.
Welcome.
See you later. What is that?
That's Ainsley. What do you mean, what is that? It's a laser beam. Now he's looking for his next victim. He runs back to his car, but no, Scav's able to get a point on the board. There's one. Looking for the second confirmation. Unfortunately, they were completely dead in the water. Without Dope, more like without hope of them two working in.
You like that one, don't you?
Love it, mate. I use it many times. Make a note.
One up for Dope. Nowhere to be found though. Scanning, he's in test track. It's far off. Foot's already gotten the res. gotten the res onto Shro already. He's already flown across, and that's the one. Fade away.
Clean.
Doesn't even look at it. Goes, oh, I knocked that guy, I guess.
Yeah, I'm in there.
No problem. SLR comes in, seals the deal. Bit of an underrated DMR. We talked about guns earlier. The SLR has fallen out of favor ever since the Dragunov came in because it just doesn't headshot as much, right? It doesn't one-shot a headshot as much, but with a few nerfs to the Dragunov now and some nerfs to the 5.5 ARs and 5.5 DMRs, I think you can't look past the SLR. If you got a cheek pad, absolutely solid.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And you see more people come back from the MK back to the Mini, right, on the 5.5. So I think we're seeing a little bit more of a divide between what you prefer, to a degree. So for me, I would always go Dragunov. I just like the fire rate, then SKS, then SLR, then SKS. SKS, I just want to get it out of your hands as quickly as you can. I'm just not a fan. It doesn't kind of pack the punch it needs.
Conquest. Meanwhile, they're down to 3, but the team on their side. Drink and fly. Already losing members to the Skittles out of all things. That makes things a little easier. Hakimari will pick that up. Say, well, okay. I'll put that in the bag. It's a Duke who gets the kill point. Skittles who put up another. We talked about the sponging of the big teams. Skittles just get 1 here, but Foot's already on, what, 7? So. Again, big dogs. Stealing the points away.
Any one of these top teams, any one of those 3 top teams, right, getting points at the moment now, Cole, is like punishing for everyone else, right? Yes, you might feel like you're safe. Yes, you might feel you're in a top 8 position, but it's so close. It's so close. So you kind of want to take this game to secure your spot. That means you need to get as many kills, if not more, than those top teams, because you don't want to be on the last game. We see so many teams go down to the last game, and we've seen bad rotations, teams getting caught out. If you go out early, you don't want to be in a position where you're just watching the games going, please, 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 let me make a top 8.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is the Wild Wild West. You can see that right now. Skittles have said, hey. We're already taken out 1. Now the numbers aren't even against us anymore. We've got 3 gear, we've got a drop gun, and we're the Skittles. We're pulling up, we're punishing. We're hunting you down. And yeah, look at that headshot coming in. What is that from Hadouken?
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Oh, there you go. I'm not even going to let you take me out the car because I'm going to flatten you. Drink and fly or fly your way on to game number 8. Skills able to get that res. Hakamari will be happy though. The zone just on the outside edge. This phase number 3. Get the res on, get a bandage on, get back in that car and make your way towards that zone.
Could get a res as well if they got the blue chip. Winkley's going from the north side of the zone, and that little lake that has a res tower in it. Yeah. They could be going for that.
Uncontended as well, right? So I'll be able to get in there for free and then reset.
It's still on an island, so it is rather open, but could be possible. Should be possible. We'll see. 39 alive. There is a bit of space. That being said, there's a tiny bit of space on that northern side where everybody knows the zone ain't going. There's not that much playable on the rest of the map.
Very sports though. As you can see, through on that west hand side, I feel like they are just chasing kills. Any sound they can hear, they are just chasing, because the easiest rotation would have been in towards 7 gaming, but they've been chasing the action at the moment. Skittles just going past that recall center. Maybe they're going to have a little quick look on in and for Esports though. Now driving on towards Conquest. They've got to try and make themselves feel a lot bigger than the hold they've got at the moment though. Conquest do get 1-2 actually. Smancy will try and hold a mountain of a hold here. Looks for the second 2 though. Just Rosho and Scav going to be in his sights, but doesn't quite get the connection. But he has made it quite an equal fight.
A lot of damage inflicted. Hard edge for Foot. They go all the way around, but they still don't find a free spot. Still don't find an easy fight. And it's punishing. And it doesn't always have to be the Skittles. It doesn't always have to be the Hive that poses the issues. Sometimes it's just Mounty From the compound, picking up an easy double. Third party's coming in. Nades are coming in. It ain't looking good for Foot.
It is painful. Everything's painful for them. It's not where Foot go. The zone goes the other way, so they might have rotated around to the west here, Koa, but the zone went back towards the east. Conquest looking to try and finish this as quick as they can. He's just on the outside edge. Scav using that jump over the top of that smoke to try and get the information as he pops around towards the other side. The spray will come in. Doesn't quite get the connections he wanted. And now the zone, well, it's going to force not just for Esports, but also Conquest to make a decision. And the decision for Conquest is to conquer this fight and clean up Foot.
I like it. I like it. And Shiro gives them every opening here. Takes shots at the far player. Doesn't realize that somebody's that close. Scav. Last one for Foot. Not a problem for them. But big points for Conquest. Massive. Massive things for them. Gonna deny some of these kill points now. At least that's what they're trying to do. But Mounty's already caught. Won't even be able to deny that one unless they get another res off. Quick reaction. Quick thinking. They want to make sure nobody else is scooping up these points. Yeah.
It is key. There's a zone shift towards that east. Goes back towards that stadium, though. We were in a good position. We already spoke about our team, and they need a victory, right? When we win a chicken dinner, holding the compound in the center. 7 gamer just on the outside. Hive lurking in, but also lurking already in a top 8 scenario. Fairy Tale, well, that'll be the next fight to kind of unfold. Is Go Next versus us, kind of that win or die. But in Fairy Tale, just on the outside, you get to maybe try and take the fight on. Maybe that third party, that will benefit them because they've already sent a player in towards zone.
Okay. Hello. Easy drive by Calyptos. Puts him down. Gonna lose Pydaros regardless. Go next. Down to 3. Gonna keep some members up. Is Timchik gonna be a problem? Is Timchik even living? No, he ain't. Dope out. Multiple dope members dying to the blue. Fairy Tale dying to the blue. Circle hasn't been pretty. Hasn't been nice to some of these teams. Well, Hive. What is Hive doing, Mark? 2-2 splitting. Half of the circle. 0 kills. They've just figured out their recipe for this tournament.
But their recipe, even with the Masters, mate, was about getting victories, right? Getting wins. They weren't even big kill games, but we found ourselves in a best of 6 scenario and Hive winning 3 of them. Yes, it's not a 10 points. Yes, it's a 5 points. But when you're able to put on 15 points a day just on placement alone, that's why they sort of was way above, heads and shoulders above the rest when it came down to the lobby when it comes to placement. So unpunished, unhinged on their 2-2 split. Now they look for the breach, and here comes a clean 2-2 collapse. Now they take the fight, though. He gets one, though. Winner able on the defense, though, but Aim will get punished, though. The rest of them a little bit too far away. The nades will come out. They are trying to get another knockdown.
No!
He gets Schengen down, and he runs straight into a molly, and he's able to back into the corner. He's safe for now, and he's got another one underneath the fire.
That's a crazy vault. That is a crazy vault. He really felt like he had to get in the building or it was over. Does get instantly punished for it. Just Presenti left for Hive. This could end up being a 1-point game for Hive. That is wild.
They're above top 8, but again, it feels like it's going down to the last game, right? Hive, Presenti, goes for the flash. Hive reaches right in, though. He looks for one, though. Gets caught slightly on the PUBG. Goes back towards the FPP view as he flips through the second. Panther pre-fired slightly towards the door. Doesn't quite get the connection. The pre-fire comes in from Presenti. Presents the options, though. As he backs away again. Now he goes to TPP for the nade. Doesn't go the way he wants as he flips back towards that FPP. Now he's launched as much utility as he can, trying to weaken the team. It's not going to be enough. And his own nade that bounced back, well, it was the finishing for Hive. 8th place for them. The blue zone does the damage that he wanted, but it's only one. And it's one and done. He's out.
Imagine if he gets the nade around the corner. Imagine if he doesn't just bounce it back towards himself. If he actually lands it where he wants to land it, that might just be a double kill. And we'd be celebrating him. Instead, unfortunate suicide. Unfortunately, takes himself out of the equation. Hello!
Whoa!
That's a C4 breach. See ya later.
Not even a breach. Oh, it is a breach. He set the card down. GG's. I thought it was a hit and run. I thought he loaded the C4 and run away, but it's not. A full C4 breach, but Locke not able to take full advantage just at the moment. They have underpinned as they are now in hands with Salik yet again with a Groza. How many Grozas can this man find?
Lovely gun. That's exactly my kind of gun.
Do you like the gun, man?
Loud, bit of recoil going on, and absolute massive punch, right?
Yeah.
It's like a barrel, but controllable. Love it.
It's like a barrel, but Mark, you should be able to use it. No P90 all the way. Zero recall. All the hopes, all the dreams. Can't fall launch the nade out though. It's not bad. Does go on target, goes past Stone. Lock trying to work their way down. Zone shifts back this way. Gives them a bit of time here, Kowo. Other teams need to work in. Maybe Skittles gets in a third party. Weewoo are way on the outside. They're going to have to be a rapid response team when it comes down to crashing in towards this zone. But we've still got 7 teams. It's phase number 6.
Fairy Tail need a few points as well. They want to lock themselves in that top 8. They don't want to get pushed out anymore. Hive already out of the equation for this one. And 7 Gaming and Weewoo are teams we're looking at. Both still kicking. Those are the teams that really, really matter in this. Alpaca finds one. Salik finds the other. Just like that. Fairy Tail. Rather quiet game for them. A few points. But nothing to write home about. Go next. Trying to do the job here, but it's going to be a tricky one. Yeah, Salik's there with the Groza. And Lock are going to stay alive, but I'm looking at 7G. I'm looking at Weewoo. They both got to make it into zone. What do they even have here, Mark?
Difficult, isn't it? Like how and where do you kind of breach in? They've got a lot of zones to sort of conquer. The third party's not happening, so everyone's quiet. So looking at these sort of cars. Skittles go for that west rotation now. No surprise, they're going to crash into that compound as well. Weewoo, they're going for the kills as well. Skittles get the first one. Weewoo, they close 7G down pretty quickly. We go top 4, straight to a top 3 as Lock falls straight after.
That's huge. That's huge. I mean, nice attempt from Salik there, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful Groza sprays, not enough in the end. But that's huge what we just saw on the kill feed. Weewoo taking out 7G is direct competition. That's Weewoo literally saying, okay, we're no longer 9th. We are now 8th. You are now having to chase us for the spot in the Super Cup. So a massive fight for them. That winning it so fast and so clean is huge.
It is going to be huge for now, and it is that competition. You're 100% right. I feel like it's the fight for the leaderboard now. We were looking to work their way in. Skittles are in confirmed, and winner Chicken Dinner Esports also a team looking to come in. So it's 3 versus 2 versus 2, and 2 of the 3 teams, well, got everything to gain. And Weewoo, sirens on, W key down. They are pushing as quick as they can to a victory. Ouch.
Again, nobody's even thinking about contesting the compound. Nobody's even trying at this point. Everyone on the map is just swinging around the edges, avoiding the crash. Not even those little shacks. Slightly off to the north. They're not great. For sure. But look at how much space they are giving themselves, and look at how much space the other 2 teams are giving. Winner, chicken dinner here.
Look at that as well. Smoke on the window. They want no third party action from this. They want to take the fight on clean. Skittles 2 taking on a 3 of Weewoo here. Skittles fun themselves to Groza. Murray is going to be there. Be a little bit further back now. 2 nades in hand. First one over towards the outside edge. And oh my god, Hakamari! He lands it to perfection. Had zero chance of that as he stands on. Hakamari does move them way forward though. So 2 versus 2 here. Be interested to see is when a chicken dinner leave the compound here, Kowo. Yes, they might have had smokes blocking out the compound, but the nades are going to be pretty good. But it's clean. Skittles get the victory. That's better enough for winner chicken dinner, and they're knocking on the doors. And Hakamari tries to get some elevation.
He wants to get the roof ASAP, but the roof's not in for long. If Buntik and Hattids have the patience to wait this out, if they can wait for Skittles to leave the compound, it should be all but doable. The only problem they have is they can reset util, right? They can re-loot. They can get themselves ready again, get a few smokes, even bring a car inside here. Oh, that's massive actually from Winkley. Gets the car inside, goes for the angle. If he makes that transition, if he gets into the north of the circle,
it's gone.
Winner Chicken Dinner has to reset this completely. Now this is getting awkward. This is getting tricky, and this is exactly what we wanted to see earlier, right? This is how you fight the compound. Multiple angles, take some space for yourselves. This is at least a 50-50 now for Skittles.
And that was just that one move. That one move. So many teams would have backed themselves up into that corner here. Yes, the roof's going to be going out. Hakamari did try to get the elevation. But now he needs to move forward, but he has an opening though. Winkley find himself in a position now where he can kind of force that player back. They should really focus where they can, back towards that south side, isolate out this sort of 2 versus 1. But it's not an easy mountain to climb. Skittles, it's like a tiny bit that he could play there. Might be some more cars that he can take and use.
I don't think he has another car. I don't think he has another vehicle. I think he just has smokes. And if he oversteps a little bit, he's done for. That being said, he can outlive a little bit. And Winkley can maybe find an angle on Buntic if he overpeaks too much. But they're playing for time here. They're just buying time for Hakimari. And I'm a little worried that they can't buy enough.
No. What they can buy for winner chicken dinner is a potential to put themselves in the top 8 conversation here, right? Remember, they missed out some of the games on day number 1. So, being down games, they're clawing for every point they can. Hakimari pops up the smoke wall. There's a little bit of a gap here. The guys are looking. Winkley does still have the car. He has the ability to extend the way forward, maybe draw the line of sight. The eye is back towards the north here. For every step, Mari just stays on the outside edge. That's enough to kind of juke his way through, but surely that's not going to be enough. He finds the tree somehow, some way. But here come the nades. 3, count that down to 2 as a double will go out though. The first one, well, a bit too short. The second one, again, short on the tree, but the third and fourth looking good. And they put it down to a 2 versus 1 here. Winner chicken dinner looking to live up to the name, but they've got one more Skittle left to knock over.
3 more points if they do take him out. A full minute for that zone to close. A full minute of just sitting each other out, waiting each other out, figuring out, okay, what are we playing after this? How are we doing this? There's a lot of planning that can go on for winner chicken dinner right now.
Go, yes.
Oh, they're going so early, but it's a good run. It's a good run. It's a good hold. You can reset it here. You can slow it down here. Didn't quite catch how many smokes Buntic has. I don't know if he has any. Oh, but I love this from Hatets. Beautiful reposition.
He's got one nade, one opportunity here. If you can lay it right on the smoke or behind the rock, it could be huge. Now he's trying to donate the information. Just needs a bit of intel. He just needs to know he's exactly on that rock. Once he knows he's on the rock, maybe he'll launch the nade. Or the nade comes out, he knows where he is, and it catches him 1 versus 1. He didn't need to expose himself though. And well, the position, the move up to the bales, that gave enough away. And now that force is back in the hands of Skittles here, back into the hope that they're able to do it. 2 smokes, well, that's the answer. 1 more molly in the way of the Skittles. And the zone, I'd argue to say, is closer to Skittles here. So winner chicken dinner needs to live forward. They need to fight.
It's a little overzealous. It's a little too much for winner chicken dinner. If he just waits it out. Smokes are going to fade. He doesn't have to go aggressive, but he wants a little bit too much. He sees all the openings. He sees all the opportunities. Now Buntic goes for the reposition in the vehicle. It's a Groza on the other side. Winkley, he connects 1 headshot. He connects the rest of the bullets. No chance. Skittles are better. And Skittles walk away with 10 here. That's not enough for winner chicken dinner, Mark.
Yeah. But you know what? They got a second place. They got 3 additional placement points. They got some kills as well. But ideally, they really needed a win. They desperately needed that win. Now that could have been the difference. Now that is the penultimate game, right? So the store won. But it was interesting to see some more teams at the end game. They're the ones on the cusp. And yes, we've kind of said that for Skittles, which did get the win there, and Lock being sort of locked in to the Super Cup. I don't think a lot of these teams in our mid-pack have done enough here in this penultimate game to kind of secure their spot. I think it still goes down to the wire. I think it still goes down to game number 8.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. I don't think this could be much closer. I think it's the 9th place team closely passing the 8th place team, and then it's the what was it, 11th place team maybe, winner chicken dinner, something along those lines, making a big step forward. It could not be better. It could not be better for us. It's rough for the teams, stressful to fight it out in the last game, but we are playing for 1 or even 2 spots on that leaderboard. Go next is not fully out of the question. I think they probably didn't do enough this game, but with a few kill points, which we know they got, Maybe it's close enough. This fight here would have been massive for Weewu. But in the end, it stays so close here, Mark.
Even a fight before that, the fact that we played in the 7 game and that there is a fight for the leaderboard. They knew the team that was in front of them in the leaderboard and more importantly in the zone, and they took the fight. Yes, that end game, that end fight would have been massive for them. And if they did claim it, well, there could have been a difference when it comes down to the last game. We've still got a lot to do when it comes down to the leaderboard though. But as I said, again, it comes down to this final game, mate.
It absolutely does. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see the leaderboard after this break, right? I can't wait to see how things are shaping up because it must be close. It's really, really close. And again, there's prize money on the line for the top dogs. Top 4 teams get money here. But we are laser focused on that top 8 because you're going to the Super Cup. It's multiple times the prize money of the Player Cup. So it's what everybody's going for. Everybody wants to play, again, against the best lobby possible and for the most money possible. Those are the 2 goals there. And we're going to have one more game to decide it all, Mark.
One more game, one more opportunity, but we are out of time, though. We're going to focus for a quick break, though. When we come back, though, it is going to be that final game. Match number 8 will be underway, and there's a lot of teams fighting for that top 8 position. So we'll see you guys in a second.
More steps toward unifying your Battlegrounds experience. Destructible terrain on Tago. And a new way to hide your vehicles. All this and more as we dive into the Update 35.2 patch report. First up, we're continuing to work toward unifying your Battlegrounds experience. This update adds vending machines, previously a Miramar exclusive, to Erangel and Tago. You can also keep an eye out for medical vending machines that distribute first aid kits, bandages, and med kits. All these machines still have their chance at a jackpot, so test your luck when you run into one. In addition to this, Erangel is also getting Tago's destructible pots. Breaking these has a chance to give boosts, healing items, throwables, and even secret room keys. So embrace your inner Link and smash away. And speaking of destroying stuff, destructible terrain and the red zone have made their way to Tago. As before, explosives and the Panzerfaust will alter the terrain they hit, adding a bit more realism to that big, cool explosion. We've also added the pickaxe to the map for those who'd rather dig their trench a little more discreetly. For now, destruction on Tago will only affect terrain, so don't worry about the building you're in caving down on top of it. And on the topic of discreetness, you can now find vehicle camo netting on Erangel and Miramar. Deploying the camo netting to your vehicle will help it to blend in with the terrain around it, making it harder for enemies to see while obscuring tire positions. We've also toned down C4 a little by making it a deployable weapon that requires 4 seconds to set. This adds a little more risk to the reward instead of it being used as a nuclear grenade. There's also a new Survivor Pass, enhancements made to the inflatable boat, some improvements to the flare gun's UX, and lots more info about everything else we've talked about. So be sure to check out the patch notes for full details. Update 35.2 is here. So pack your favorite explosives and get ready for a little light terraforming on Tago. Just make sure you hide your getaway vehicle from the other survivors. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. This year, we're introducing structured competitive play in third-person perspective mode for players of all ranks, levels, and ability. Here's how it works in EMEA and Americas. PUBG Players Tour competition is held in 2-week phases. Each week, you and your squad can compete in player scrims. Think of these as a great alternative to ranked play. Each day of scrims will feature a variety of maps, with defined team and lobby sizes to ensure a balanced best-of-3 rounds. Teams will earn points based on their performance, and daily leaderboards will track their progress. When the scrims are over, the top team...
It's sad, but it's the final game. I feel like every week is a PUBG weekend. But with the Masters last weekend, we're back starting with the player tour. Week number 1, day number 2, but game number 8. The final opportunity, Koa, that we are going to find our top 8 to secure their spots into the Super Cup before we get their reset and run it again next week. Still think there's a lot up for grabs. Still think a lot of teams need to be explosive here, as we mentioned before. I think it comes down to who wants it more in this final game.
I'd say it comes down to who gets more points in that final game, but I guess there's different ways. There's different ways to look at that.
The same thing, mate.
We have one more game coming at you guys. We have one more Erangel to close out the tournament. We've had 7 rounds, and we are now down to a best of 1 for a lot of these teams. 4 points ahead is Weeble right now. That's not a lot. 7 games in the chase. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. If they would have won that last game, right? That would have been 2 more placements and a kill. They'd be on 21 right now, and I'd say they have all the chances in the world. On 18, it's a bit of a stretch mark.
Yeah. It's just crazy, right? Like, let's break this down. Go next. I think you're right. I think it's a bit of a stretch now. They would need a win plus an explosive amount of kills. We've not really seen it from Go Next Esports in this week, right? We have seen it historically, but in this week. Then below, I kind of feel like, well done, guys. Obviously, let's get a reset and get them going. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I think they'd be gutted that they didn't attend the first couple of games because they might be in contention. 18 kills, like pushing in another 10 potentially. There's a possibility. So I won't count them up. They'll be my outside bet, but they've got to be super explosive. 7 gaming after getting deleted from WeWoo. I think they'll be out for a bit of a vengeance, but this is where it comes down to for me. Does 7 gaming have the survivability to take on WeWoo? Because actually a good couple of kills and a win, or a good couple of kills and WeWoo going out early, is the difference between them potentially staying in and going to the next stage, or having to go for a reset themselves.
That's crazy. I would have even still thought about Hive here a little bit. I think they're not safe either when you're breaching without dope and stuff, of course. But when you're looking at Hive, I think there's a chance that it's 2 points from Weewu, right? And then it's just a really good game from 7 Gaming, all but possible. They gotta lock it in. They gotta figure their things out, and they gotta make sure that they stay in here. But 7 Gaming and Weewu is what we will be looking at in the last game of the tournament.
Well, it's time. It's sad time. It's week number 1, day number 2, but it's the final game. Match number 8, though. It's a wrangle. It's up for grabs, though, from the northwest down towards the southeast, nearly through the heart, the soul. That is the grassy pastures of a wrangle. So a lot of the drops will be open for these guys and girls. So a lot of that prio spot will be had, but potentially a lot of early engagement, a lot of early fighting. So definitely a game to watch.
Joven going for that Zaki drop. We've got a Severny, we've got Foot in Georgia Pool. Nobody in North George, interestingly enough. So that is free for now. You don't want to get bullied, you don't get hunted by Foot Esports, so I get that. Weewu, it's a team we said would have our eyes on. And they are looking to go, I'm not sure where. Is that a hospital split that they're aiming for? Is that, I mean, it can't be Gatka. They know that Hive is in Gatka. So they're already in a bit of early scuffles here. And then 7G is doing the exact opposite on the other side. They're staying in until the very end of the plane, but they got 0 free space for themselves either. They wanted to maybe go Novo, maybe go Milton Power. Neither of them super attractive right now. Yeah, no. So both of teams not in a fantastic spot here for the start of this game.
It'll be difficult. It's going to be difficult. Well, again, right on the zone. Everyone is out that Christmas tree effect we talk about here. Twisted Insights, they are playing as a 3, just an FYI in this final game. Zone, give or take, the middle does play out towards that kind of like Yaz, Lipovka area. We also go all the way back towards kind of Potato Hill. Does mean Lock in the center, Skittles in the center. So maybe that's denying to the teams that are already secured in the opportunity to get some points. But for teams you mentioned before, and bring back to that Hive, right? Hive, I don't think are safe either. I 100% agree with you, right? They've got to rotate their way in, and we know so far Hive like to lock it down, even with a 2-2 split, but they've got to rotate in first. So let's see if they can get in clean and unaffected.
It's the first time in these 8 games that we might see a drop phase without somebody dying. It might be the first time. I said it, and I'm eating my words. Dope's already in the compound. Dope's already in the compound of 7G there. Didn't see it on the map because the colors are so similar. But I think they are absolutely arresting Grown on the south side of the map in a bit here.
This is painful. Good, remember, the losers here is going to be 7G. So they've got to try and survive out. The survivability has been pretty good, though, for 7 Gaming. Right, just has to try and find the information here. He'll be able to hear the car coming in, so he knows there is that added pressure. Not just added pressure, a flood of pressure coming his way. But one man, one army, potentially. And I think he has an idea that there's a player on that roof, so he doesn't want to overexpose himself just yet, but he needs to keep his eye on the back burners because he's a 3-man player in his way. He's going to now be exposed, though. Nice tight angle here for Grown. Looking to get this fire. Does spray out the AK. Doesn't quite get the connection. The jump comes in, and the MP5, well, it's punishing. And 7G, it's not a great way to start.
Not a great way to start is a really nice way to put it. That's really diplomatic. They are 3 dudes in Big Milta. They might have 1 car, they might have 0, and they're the first team to lose a player when they're literally the team that is trying to break into top 8. Salik has your favorite gun, and he's popping headshots, no problem. Sloy out, damage done. Ooh, another. What?
Oh, what? That was a nice transfer as well. Couldn't quite get it on the final connection. The guys were able to get towards the other side of the hill. Locking it down. But to be fair, it doesn't really matter. All that matters, though, if these teams are secured taking points, Koa, does mean it's going to be more desperate for some of these teams on the outside edge because there might not be the points here at the end. Because we know a game 4, a game 6, or a game 8 and 6, they are the ones to be had. Salik looking to try and get some loot to see what his kill provided for him.
Listen, if I'm one of those teams that really needs points right now, I am happy to see Skittles on the right side of that kill feed. I am happy to see the absolute bullies here being put down to 3 members, being taken down a notch, you know, slowed down a little bit. That's really, really good stuff. There's not many teams that abuse their fragging power as much as Skittles would. You could see a Foot Esports being one of the candidates, but Skittles definitely number 2 on the list. So if you're in a team that does want to play a normal game of PUBG Esports, you love to see them going down. That being said, you're 7G, you want to play a normal game of PUBG Esports, without dope, might just say no.
Yeah. And they can continue playing at Professor, right? Just without recall chips and stuff like that. So, we'll have to wait and see. I'd say no, right on the top of though, Twisted Insights. They've had some Twisted Insights so far. It's nice to see, though, new names appearing in the lobby. Ellis, she's a streamer. Good to see. And she's definitely worth a note, guys and girls out there. She's a TPP player. So I've always said what's really intrigued me about this sort of circuit. Yes, we had the kind of the homegrown names, all the names and players that we know and love. And we still have some of them hanging around, right, and playing in the circuit. But it's now getting to the point, the second sort of transitional half year where we're starting to see new names, new players. And I said it was always going to be time when we start to see these TPP players starting to show light as well. I believe Ellis, she's one of them.
Hope to see them get something going. Have a bit of fun. Take some of these learnings. Come back next week. Come back stronger. Very easy to get thrown into one of these lobbies and say, well, this is hopeless, right? The skill gap is just massive. These guys are so good at the game, but those guys started exactly where you're starting, right? That's what you gotta remember. That's the hard part. You gotta realize everybody comes from somewhere. Nobody was born a great PUBG player. Nobody was born a good PUBG team.
What are you talking about? I thought Petulins was born in the game. I thought he was growing out of a wrangle.
That man was kicked off Navi after a terrible season in PL, you know? That's how his career started. He was kicked, and then he was just like, nah, I'm coming back. I'm not heckin' done.
Facts.
And he comes back as literally the GOAT of the EU region, you know? That's a good story.
To your point, though, like, the way I look at it, especially for some of the teams, and look, I've always been told if you can't play your cast, right, that's why I'm sitting here. I've always loved watching them playing, but I can never get to the top level, right? But generally speaking, it's really good to see other teams win or die, hype beast. We've seen them start in the scrims, they've started in the lower tiers, they've worked their way up the tiers, they've been attending the main events, then the main events started getting more and more results as that team finds himself ahead. And then as they continue playing these type of lobbies, they get better and better. So just keep on the grind. Get yourself in here. Great Nado! Ainsley will go down. And just keep doing things like that. Now find yourself with the confidence. It's not just fighting a Foot Esports anymore, but you're taking out Foot Esports, though. Nice drive by Scav gets good connection here. T-Bone would get, and Scav will get the momentum back on the car. They drive their way back. Inter's confirmed up now, but they will fully breach the compound here. Nothing to lose, everything to gain, and Foot Esports though looking to fight as a 3.
Once again, this is a winnable fight. This is a winnable fight for Drink and Fly. The problem is the coordination between the members of Foot is just so much cleaner. It's so much faster. It's so much better. They instantly realize, okay, we can isolate a solo here, and they do. While Drink and Fly, they're still fully disjointed. Everybody's playing their own game. Those are the kind of things that you just gotta pick up, and you gotta rehearse, and you gotta integrate them into your mind. And like you said, there's a path, right? There's a path to getting better. There's a path to getting towards the top. But it's an absolute grind. It doesn't come free. It doesn't come easy. PUBG's not a fun game when you're losing either. Sitting around for 25 minutes after you've just lost the first fight of the game is absolutely horrendous. Getting rolled in scrims by teams that have been doing this for 7 years, also not that fun. But there is a way to get there. And Shro is experiencing one of those ways right now. That man's put himself forward. He's put himself on the radar of all the big teams by just popping off individually. And now he's getting a chance to do it on one of the best teams in Europe.
Everyone loves the Shro show. I feel like he's
no one loves it more than you.
And that's fact. But I feel like at the moment, Scab's just getting one up on him at the moment. He's trying so hard to get as many kills. There we go. Shro gets one on the board. Drive behind the back of the buggy. Scab's one too. But look, it's a good trial ground, right? These guys have been controlling out the sort of TPP. They've really changed their roster up. They've had retirements. Now they're trying to find themselves settled, and I think the Masters 2 was a complete reset for this team as well. So let's see what they can do. Let's see what they can bring to the table here. Phase number 1. After 6 seconds will become phase number 2. The only team really left on the outside edge is Twisted Insights, as they will look for their insight in towards zone. Does donuts up. Not too bad. A little bit of water remains in that northwest corner. Dangerous though if it goes towards that Yaz field. Very dangerous if we see another random shift that way. But lots of early engagement. Not so much hard cover remaining.
Now, but plenty of space at this point now. Plenty of space. Because everybody's been squaring off early. Everybody's been fighting off a lot. Everybody has been blasting at the kill points. And the teams who haven't are still stuck deep in the blue. Weewoo, that's a team we wanted to look at. They lost one early game. 7G, they lost at least one. We've kind of lost track of them a little bit. I think they're now sitting in the yellows, so in a good spot for themselves. But they're still 4 points behind Weewoo here.
4 points behind. It's closable. If I don't, locking down, just on the outside of the red zone, just on top of him at the moment. We've not quite seen as many kills as I suppose we would have liked. The explosive action we expected. Go next. No team. Would I expect to go next to BM potentially? If they've performed to how I've seen recently. Doesn't mean they can't try and close out, but they need a really big game 8 here.
Sneaking up. Tries to spot it now, though. Oh, the timing could have not been worse. Schengen hears it, flashes it, might even flash it one more time. Wants to come over, but it doesn't matter. Apocalyptic is there for the trade, is there for the save. And now the M249 rings out. It does not connect, but it connects on the tire, and that's absolutely massive. That could be rocks out as well. And just like that, Hive in another bit of bother, and go next on the cleanup.
This is dangerous as well. Hive are in, but they're not in by much, right? So, go next, we said they need an explosive game. The M249, we know, can provide explosive action. As the barrage of 556 now unfolds back the other way. Down to 2. I'll be looking to try and gain the chips where they can, but more action. Winner chicken dinner taking on Weewoo. This is also punishing for this team. Not just 1, but 2. Lots of duos remain as they have to continue fighting here in match number 8.
Is it possible for winner chicken dinner? That's 2, right? That's getting them. That's getting them onto that 20-point mark. I think 28 was what we was on. There's still 8 more points for a 3-man. But I say for a 3-man, they're right next to a recall station, right? So there is a world where they just get that one back and where they get back to 4 strong. So maybe it is possible. Maybe we just have to hold our breath here for a bit. Give them a chance. Give them a bit of time to see what they can do.
Yep. Might be able to give them a chance, but we can't give them time. Time is limited now in week number 1. We are coming towards the end of it. We have to wait and see. How things now will unfold. Looks like the Fairy Tail guys are encroaching here. We will have to have a look. But here comes the zone. Does zone up again. So it does sort of play towards that Yaz field. Plays towards that northwest corner. As we do get rid of the water. Right, Chicken Dinner in a good spot. But a lot of teams need to sort of work their way in. Without Dope, go around the top of Yaz here. Footy Sports looking to try and collapse in. Ainty is now back. So they're back to a 4 as well. As they will try and hold on the compound. And we will... Well, the lights might be dimming here. As the final push for them is trying to find a bunker to try and hold out. If he gets there, he might be able to hold out.
At least it lives for now. Feeding that point over to 7G would have been the worst case scenario, right? Not only do you go out, you're also giving a point to literally the biggest threat in the game. I'm not sure why he's still driving. I'm not sure why he wasn't happy with the dip. No! T-Bone takes it. Could have been worse, but could have been a whole lot better. They fumble it in the last game. Can 7G do enough? Can Winner Chicken Dinner do enough? Is it maybe go next? I'm not sure.
It's going to be close. They need a big game. They will need a big game, right? They need a win, plus they need to farm points. Now going towards the south, that means they might understand there is a team there. They are taking some shots. Go Nick, though, do playing towards Conquest here. Conquest get the first knock on them, but that's not a problem, though. Conquest in a position to try and catch it, but Go Next have an area which they can get the res, but more importantly, stop the push here. And Conquest understanding the objective now. They get in the cars. They're looking to try and extend the angle. If they extend out towards the north, that'll draw the guns their way, but we'll have to wait and see.
Have to wait and see. Southern side is heating up a little bit as well. Conquest, they want this. 7G, they want this. Fairytale doesn't want to let them have it. That's another one. That's another pickup for 7G. That's big.
Yep. That's what we want to be seeing. The team just on the outside edge, right? The team trying to find their way in. We were down bodies, down and out in 7 game. We'll be happy that they've seen that in the kill feed here. For Esports, though, they can punish whoever they want now without Dope. Next on the agenda. And the Shro Show, it arrives. The Shro Show's on top of the card. The Shro Show will fall, though. The rest of the guys from Without Dope, they're also collapsing in. But for Esports, it feels like a bit more of a lap of honor at the moment. And they're just trying to punish anyone they can.
Old Breach is there. Cleanup is there. Without Dope on 3 now. Skinning. Putting the points on the board. For the squad. Just like that. Scouts out the Wizard. Scouts out 80. Should be enough to shy 80 away here. He doesn't want to take a single position versus a 4-man team that knows about them. And as I'm talking about that, the respawn plane is coming across the map. And it is Winner Chicken Dinner back up to 4 members. It is also a double raise for Hive.
Yeah.
So they're still in this. They got the chips. But if I'm Hive, I'm starting... I don't know. Hive direct competition's been taken out, right? 28 points was what we had before this game. That was their biggest threat. But they still would love to play a big game. It's really just not within their standards to be shaken here through the last game.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? But it's that last game antics. Some teams can kind of operate underneath that pressure. Some teams rely on a bit of a luck, and others have it fully under control. So for Esports, a team that didn't have to worry about any of those scenarios, as they're well within qualification, as I don't think we've seen Footy Sports drop a single week 1 yet. To my understanding, I've get those bodies back, and they have bodies in the air. Rocks. They can try and get boots on the ground. It's not there just at the moment. try and find any loot he can. Go next. Said we need a big game for them. Well, that's 4 kills. That's going to bump them up to 18 points. But remember, 28 points, Koa, was the cutoff. So Store, maybe not a mountain, but it's Store a hill to climb.
Absolutely. Still a lot to be going through. Joven, a team in front of them that hasn't really had the best tournament. A team you could maybe punish. Go Next is a team that's got the potential. They've got the players. They've got the experience. If Greek had a PNC team, it'd probably look a lot like this. That's a banger from Cramsey and Mounty, though. And just like that, down to 3. Now on the pull-up, now on the drive-by. They've got 1 card to do it all, but it is a 3v2. Mounty, he's got to hit the deck. He's going to live for now. But surely this is a cleanup from Go Next.
This has to be. This has to be, right? Does he deny? Does he think, you know what? Maybe they're going to get close. Maybe let's not take it. He's going to smoke up the car. Maybe the opportunity. Go Next. Surely the car's not going to get the momentum. They're going to be able to get the shots on. He does turn away, trying to use the smokes as cover. Now he has to heal his cover as he wraps around towards the west. Conquest. No more. On the jammer pack. And now the shots come through, but he just finds his way over the hill. Not too far away.
Oh.
Maybe goes in the loving hands of one of the chicken dinner.
7G getting knocked. 7G getting flushed. 7G down to 1. They got 3 kills only. That's 27. They need more than this. They need 28 for the minimum, even if they win the tiebreaker, which I'm not sure they do. They can't go out here. It won't be enough. It won't be enough for them to even get close.
No.
To Weewu. 5 first aids. He can delay quite a while, but Locke is a team in front of them that doesn't really have much to lose. They can wait this out. They can chill. Make sure they get the point. Make sure they get the kill. Make sure their back is clear. This is dire straits for 7G.
Yeah, this is painful. He hasn't got a card to rotate, and he's made enough noise now as well. Lock, do not need to move. They're in, right? They can just punish, bully, hold the line. We've got a dope. Also a team just on the inside edge, but a team now with 5 kills, potentially looking to secure their spot, and I'd argue to say they have already done so. 7 Gaming having to go for the run now, but unfortunately he's not aware that actually Lock are done, and that is 7G down and out. So, eyes now on, obviously, winner chicken dinner will go down and out. Next, obviously, on board will be Go Next Esports, right? Go Next have an aggressive start today in this final game. See if they can close it out in style.
Can they close it out in style? Winner chicken dinner, Go Next. Still fighting for their tournament life. Fighting for qualification. Everybody else just in for a good time.
Whee! But look, winner chicken dinner in the center zone, right? Like, you need to get kills. They can't just sit tight. A win's not going to be enough for them. So, they're looking.
Farm.
And the thing is, the compound they're in, they're in the bottom of a dip. Like, getting out of there is going to be rough. Let alone trying to find some kills. So, interesting to see. I think Go Next in a better position now as teams sort of playing their way. Oven. It's on the outside edge and now kind of next on the agenda of Go Next. So, I'm leaning towards Go Next Esports at the moment, based upon their location, and arguably, I love the aggressive stance.
Yeah, I love it. Could open the door, though, for Go Next, but I'm saying open the door. I see T-Bone in the backlines. He might be closing a door here very soon. If Fine doesn't spot him from the parachute, T-Bone and Scav are probably going to just ruin the dreams of Go Next here. And, well, the guns are kicking off. It's going the right way for Go Next, but I think that Org Spray is going the wrong way. Max caught behind the tree and needs to seal the deal, potentially. Acalyptus in the smoke takes a bit of damage, and just like that, they are now getting hampered. They're getting crunched, and it ain't looking good for Go Next.
It's not looking good now. They've got stabbed in the back. Esports causing problems now. JVM will hold. Down to 1, able to get now a res here. Go Next trying to look to do the same though, as they are getting the aggressive stance back towards kind of for T-Sports. Scavs down, T-Bone's the final player. And there's a fine line to hold. There's another point on the board. That is number 6 now. Should be able to get the res. T-Bone needs to disengage as well, as he has Skittles playing his way. And if, I don't know, just Go Next, go back towards the east. They have to, but they go out. 8th place for them. And Govin, well, it's going to deny. So it's 30 Sports. T-Bone will end his tour now on this week. It is going to be an explosive mid-game. I don't think it's going to be enough.
Don't think it's gonna be enough. Winner chicken dinner is what winner chicken dinner needs here for sure. Akamari is shooting ghosts. The ghosts of Go Next. Now, puts his eye. Oh no, towards Hope of Ifu. Spotted. You better get back into cover. You better reset that one. I'm loving that they're going out for kills, Mark. I'm loving that they're running out, looking to nade people around them. They have a good understanding of the scoreboard. They have a good understanding of what it takes for them to qualify. And if only they would have played 8 games like the rest of the lobby. They are looking for qualification here, and they've only played 5.
Yeah,
4.5.
Insane.
That's wild.
Absolutely insane as well. And look, do you know what? They're closer than obviously Go Next, but they would have seen Go Next a lot in the leaderboard. 5 points for a win. Is it enough? No. They've got to get some kills on the board. So you see them trying to play towards that north, getting caught a little bit, punished to a degree. But they might be able to lock it down. Maybe the chaos will continue to happen in the south. Maybe they get the opportunity because they've got 4 bodies up here. And it looks like, again, fighting stall continues to unfold. They just need to pick what time do they look to leave. It's locked. Sadiq looks to put number 2 on the board, taking his team to 4.
Kills trickling in. Salik doing more work, getting more on the board. He's going to repeat that one more time as well. But it is a kill. Going for winner chicken dinner. I was about to say a whole lot of players are dying without them getting the frag. Without them getting the kill. But they've got 3 now. 3 plus 5, that's 8. If they do get the winner chicken dinner, that's not nearly enough, Mark.
No, Hadouken puts one down. That's a really good move, though. Hive playing down towards the south. That gives them the freedom now. They get an idea that they could play out, but they've got to get out reds quickly. Hive gets a knock, but the return comes back from Lock guys. Winner chicken dinner returns the favor towards Hadouken, though. Sunny peeks over, but Dante puts him down. Hive in a position. Winner chicken need to activate. They now get the res. Now they're going to try and play. How many smokes have they got to be able to get themselves over? Because they have to put themselves in the conversation. Only with 3 teams remain.
This is all but doable.
It's going to be close though, right?
I think it's got to be 3 kills minimum. Maybe 4. Depending on the tiebreakers, it's got to be 3 or 4 kills. I would not imagine that they're winning a placement point tiebreaker. But actually, with the win, I think they would, right? With the win, I think they would. So, 3 more kills and a winner chicken dinner for the boys in purple here. They are a 4-man team, but they're completely out of this zone. They got a 4-man hive and a 3-man skills up against them. Oh, it's a tough ask, Mark.
It's just a compound. It's just a compound for me. Like, don't get me wrong, if you're playing for a win and the win's 10 points, and that's all good. You're locked down, right? It's hard. Even 4 bodies in there, super hard. No teams now on the north. Now, we're obviously aware of that. They're not quite the same. They might still think there could be a solo lurking out on that plateau in the northeast corner. Totally fine. Maybe that's not why they're moving. But they need to find a way out of here. Now they lost the zone. Now the fighting has stopped. It's a 4 versus 4 versus 3. But both Hive and Skittles, they don't need to move here, mate. All eyes now go to winner chicken dinner. Have they missed the opportunity to leave the area? Have they missed the opportunity to try and take this one home? Oh no, it's got C4.
That's a C4. Whee! That's a C4 into Skittles. Is there enough cover? Is there enough cover to make it work? Are they even bunched up enough? Well, it's 1. Surely, it's not even 1. Maybe Hadouken? Oh, God. He got 1. Is that worth it? Is that a way to win the game? I mean, it's desperate times, desperate measures. It might just work out, Mark.
I don't know if it's working out. They've had to conquer their way down towards the south. I don't think you expected the players to be there. Hakamari now trying to hold, though. Final player for Skittles is in. Hive closing. They know they've got a limited amount of time. They want to try and close this gap here. They do wrap their way up towards the south. They take the next plateau, though. Hakamari produces a few more shots with the ace in hand, but he has to keep eyes back as Dante gets a knock, though. Maybe Hope's down as the Hope is going to unswalled, but there's another C4. It's explosive. It's an ending, though. And unfortunately for the Skittle guys, they will fall out and winner chicken dinner down to 2 and Hive and 9 kills, farming the final push here.
Down to 2, trying to make the cross, make that 1. Surely here, Dante, surely connecting some of these DMR shots. But it is still 2 alive and kicking. Presenti's got the angle over the top. Whenever they come across that ridgeline, they are getting blasted. If they don't come across this ridgeline, it's Dante farming them. They need a knock right here, right now. Hatitz, he's going for the run, and we know it's not going anywhere. Presenti finds it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. They've done so much. They've tried so hard, but in the end, it's Hive who roll away with it. It's Hive who farm them. 12 kills, Mark.
Hive. They missed day number 1. Kind of. They were there, but they produce at the end. The Hive, they swarm, they score, they'll be qualified. But the winner, chicken dinner will be looking at that game going, 1, if we attended the first couple of games, would you have enough points? But 2, did we have the opportunity in that final game to try and get ourselves over the line? I think the question is potentially yes, when they go back and look at the VOD. But I think their compound, despite keeping them alive, they might have left it a little bit too late just to kind of conquer out. But I'm a caster, I'm not a player.
Yeah. I mean, it's rough. It's rough, man. It's a tall task. The teams around them all get into good spots. Everybody's 3-man up, 4-man up, right? They're not ending up fighting a duo in a duo. They're fighting up 7 players that are just almost working together to hold them out of the compound. Then they almost make it work. But what's really the kicker for me is they got damn close with 5 games. That is massive. That's definitely them coming back next week and saying, hey, I mean, realistically, we were on the level of qualifying here.
Yeah, that's an achievement. You've got to say that's an achievement, right? Off the bat. 5 games in 8, insane, right? The only thing for me, when that sort of move from Hive, maybe they didn't have the intel in the north. Maybe if they sort of played at that time, or maybe sort of used that card to kind of backfill into Hive as well, that C4 could have been quite explosive on the end. But a good day number 2. Lots of highlights, lots of aggressive stance, but obviously, with only 4 games a day, kind of feels like PUBG on steroids sometimes. Some of these teams eager to try and get some kills on the board, and some of these teams need to reset and come back next week, but there is the opportunity.
There is, for sure. There was a lot of opportunities here. Some teams took them. Some teams missed them. That's the way it goes. You can't always be at the top of the leaderboard. There always has to be someone who doesn't qualify, and as a wise man once said, lose is improve. Much more to learn when things don't work out. Much more to learn when things fall apart here towards the end. Kasu with a nice highlight there. Getting some stuff done for 7G, but in the end, just not enough. Just not consistent enough. While a team like Fairy Tail, they had moments where they got absolutely shattered. But just overall consistent enough in putting the points on the board, putting the frags in. Same for lock-in, right? No game wins, but always getting some of these kill points.
But again, I bring up, again, we talk about lock, right? That reminds me so much of Hive. Again, Hive getting so close when it comes down to the tours, when it comes down to kind of the series up to, as I said, like the finals, right? I feel like the Supers and the Masters are kind of the finals of the runs, right? This sort of the Player Cups is kind of that semi-finals for me. Hive not able to get the win sometimes, but when it came down to the final, they were able to produce and they pulled away a lot of money. So maybe Lock's the same. The momentum that they've been able to deliver here over the last 2 days has been huge. Yes, they've not got the wins. Yes, they've been pretty close, and a lot of people will look back at it going, well, if they did this, if they did that, they might have got the win. Forget all of that. They're able to put a huge amount of consistent points on the board, and it puts them in a position where they'll be going through to our next section of this, and as a result, that puts them in a fight for more money.
Absolutely. Puts them in a fight for the bigger chunk of the prize pool, and puts them in a good position again to learn more, right? Even if you're not getting away with the majority of the money, you're still figuring out this new patch, you're figuring out this lobby, you're figuring out the TPP format. All of that is things you're taking away. All of that is things you're taking home. It's not just about the money. And it's, yes, if you're a big team, then maybe you're using this for tryouts. Maybe you're using this to get a new player on the roster. If you're a small team, you just work on gelling better together. Better team fights, better comms. There's so much you can improve on at any point in time. All of these teams are happy to be playing a good lobby, be playing a strong lobby, and be learning along the way.
Yeah. We like this game. It's kind of a turning point here for winner chicken dinner esports, even if, as I said, if they didn't qualify the points, which we believe both us the same maths is mapping. but that there was a turning point for me. Actively taking fights the right way. When Chicken did the same, we were also doing it as well, taking fights to try and conquer their way in towards a victory. I think it's going to be close on the cutoff. We are looking for a top 8. Don't forget, guys and girls, it's a top 8 that will secure the spot. Otherwise, we'll reset, and we've got one more week of the Player Cup to be able to ensure, obviously, if they can find yet again an opportunity to find in a top 8. This prize pool, yes, it's a top 8 that a lot of these teams are fighting.
Yeah, for sure. This was also a deal breaker here for winner chicken dinner. If they just won that game, they would have been in so much of an easier spot here coming into the last one. And honestly, this last game, this Serangel, that was hard to win.
Yeah.
That round wasn't. That was in the bag. That was a 2v1, a 2v2 that was very, very, very doable. And they just fumbled the bag there a little bit. It happens, right? It happens to everybody. It happened to everybody in this lobby. We've seen Hive troll some games this tournament. We've seen Foot rolled over in some of these fights. But it really just broke their neck a little bit there in that penultimate game.
Go next, though. Go through everything at this final game, though. Great Spay. Spay, M249 able to get one. There's obviously a second done and dusted, though. But they never caught this south side. It was quite painful. Took the fight with Conquest, and then we saw Foot Esports causing problems. Skittles also coming in, so they got controlled out. Maybe with a bit more space, it could have been a bit different for them. And then, like, Hive position, that Hive play from the north towards that sort of east, that was key. I think for me, winner chicken dinner, if they were able to sort of play themselves into that location, maybe. But it's all kind of if buts and maybes. So, nice play from them. And again, yeah, God, I can't take anything away, Kyle. 5 out of 8. That's huge, right? Huge to find themselves on a potential cutoff. We don't know just yet, but a potential cutoff where actually a couple more games in the bag and they should have been in.
1 or 2 games. 1 or 2 games is all it would have needed. They're not going to be on that list. We're going to look at the teams that have already qualified to the Super Cup now, tonight, and then we're going to see. They're not quite on there. Weewoo is able to lock it in at the very, very end. Skittles, Foot, they ran away with a show. Hive come in today, Lock come in today. Just make it close, make it interesting. Yeah. They're in that top 4, that's in the prize money. But Weewoo, in that very last game, they didn't get a whole lot going, but the second to last game is what qualified them.
Yeah, it was. It was that push, that reach onto the compound or the outside edge, the isolation of winner chicken dinner, smoking off those windows. I think Weewoo played it well. Obviously unable to perform to the level I think they wanted in that final game, but it is going to be enough. So there's our first 8 teams that will be going through to the Super Cup. We still have 8 teams to be confirmed, though. That'll be happening next week. But let's have a quick look, though, at the actual cutoff point. Yeah, there's the cutoff point. It was close. 29 points, so 27 for 7 gaming. It just wasn't enough. Unable to keep their head down. And winner chicken dinner and go next Esports, though. They threw everything they could, but they come up just short.
Yeah, and there's what I was talking about as well, right? They're already on 9 placement points with that second place. So they would have won all the tiebreakers. They really just needed 4 more points. 2 more placements, 2 more kills would have done the trick for winner chicken dinner Esports to lock themselves in with 5 games. Go next, 7 gaming. Solid performances, just not enough. And then I think a lot of teams on the left side of the scoreboard that are still not happy with this, right? Even a Hive, even a Fairy Tail, they've done the job now, but we are used to seeing better from them.
Yeah, Hive 100%, right? We say they've come off the Masters victory, right? And they've got 4th, but arguably they got 4th in 4 games. They really didn't perform on day number 1. Fairy Tail is a bit of the curveball for me, but the smokes and mirrors, because normally we see them do quite well, especially when it comes down to Miramar. Formats that start with Miramar normally means Fairy Tail kick things off, but I'm gonna say it's pretty bad. They scraped their way through. They were consistent enough not to be in a conversation of potentially dropping out, but they definitely weren't on the consistent board to be able to get through into the top side of that leaderboard.
Yeah, for sure. And you talk about the top side of the leaderboard. We are sending that top side of the leaderboard to the Super Cup. What does that mean? We're playing another Player Cup next week, and that entire left side of the scoreboard is gone. Everybody that looks really scary in these last 4 games, you've been watching today, you're like, I don't want to fight these guys. I don't want to get hunted by Skittles. I don't want to get camped by Foot, you know? All that kind of stuff. That didn't happen until you next week. So if you want to play, get in. It's not going to get easier than this. This is going to be the best chance to get yourself into a Player Cup, to get yourself casted, to get yourself a chance at making it to the Super Cup, and it's all happening next week.
Yeah, that's right, though. We'll be signing up. Make sure you get you and your team involved, though, into the scrims. Best of 3 each day. Get yourself enough points. You'll find yourself at this stage next week. And our top 8 will send you on to the next stage, next final. But that's it from us. Don't forget, we've got more North America Player Cup Tour a bit later on with Cammy D and the amazing Chunks UK. But for now, that's it for us. Keep playing PUBG. We'll see you guys later.